Wow. That's a good intro. It reminds me... You know what? This makes sense given the description of the game. Knowing that an entire family is dead, and having the music remind me of a noir detective film of some kind, really nails the vibe. This is full screen exclusive. What? What do you mean exclusive? This is The Roottrees Are Dead. That's right, they're dead. No one knows what happens to them. They're completely dead. All we know is that they're dead, and we need to figure out why. It's one of those games that involves a lot of puzzling and breaking things down. So again, if you're not into this, just know that it's time for you to go to sleep. But I thought this game, at least on paper, sounded like a cool concept. I really enjoyed games like Orwell. Well, you go through, you click on the words, and you figure out what exactly is going on. And you try to guide the events towards a peaceful or somewhat peaceful resolution. You try to figure out exactly what is going on by all these different context clues and all these different bits of information that the game is feeding you, but you're also trying to find things based on these different connections sprawling across this like fake internet web. This is the same thing, except the people I'm trying to find info on are all dead. I don't know what that means, but Root Tree Mania, what? The mystery begins here. The root trees are loading. Oh, that's such a good loading screen. Wow. December 6th, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation.
Real person.
Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
Okay, that's a very solid intro. I didn't expect that kind of FMV style display of it. Hey, who are you?
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees company's lawyers are scrambling.
Okay, imagine somebody opens your door in the dead of night, and for some reason you sleep by the front door because I don't know, because I'm like a deep, dark, seedy noir detective who's ready for somebody to bust in through my door at any moment to try to kill me. So I sleep by my front door with a gun in hand. Okay, the first thing that the person says after opening my door is, "I'm sure you've heard the news, but the corporate lawyers are scrambling." What do you do? How do you react in this situation? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you would say something like, "Hello, it's me, Margaret, your partner in crime. Did you hear the news? Not just, the corporate lawyers are scrambling."
Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for.
Okay, but who are you? Why are you in my home? Wait. I feel like that's the wrong question to answer. I feel like...
I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
So that's why you opened my front door, without me even being close. But also, again, there's something funny about the way this game handles the contrivances to just start like this.
I'm going to give you a quick test.
What?
Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Yes. Okay, we need to get into the mindset of a noir. How did noir people talk? I was sleeping. I didn't know what time it was or what day it was. My days just blur and pass on by. You know, I always thought when I was growing up that I'd be something better. Something different. But no. Looks like all I'm good for is to stalk the rats that crawl around at night. 7:03 a.m. A nice, dark, cold morning. All of a sudden, a knocking at my door. My bed positioned right in front of it. You can never be too careful these days. I open it, and the lady starts rambling to me about a job of a lifetime. Pass a single test, she says, and I'll give you something that you'll love. What? Complete the family tree of the Roottrees sisters. Sure. Siblings are in birth order, oldest to youngest. Huh. To-do list. Examine my evidence. Search the internet for clues. Fill in the names. Fill in the occupations. Fill in the photos. Sleuth. There I was, staring at my corkboard. magically filled with all the information that I needed. I need to find out who the Roottrees were. She didn't tell me anything. She beamed the information straight into my head. What does this button do? This is actually pretty neat. Wow. And, you know, again, has that same idea of the text that's highlighted that allows you to click on it, that then goes to that section, and even at the bottom. What? The got milk picture. What does that even mean? You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. There was on Reddit. There's a subreddit for this game called Zenless Zone Zero. They were calculating how much milk each character could make. So it's like how many ounces of milk could each character make from their well-endowed breasts. And so for me to have the whiplash of going from seeing that and seeing people say like, oh yeah, this character makes 2.4 gallons of milk from her massive titties, to this into a got milk picture with a series of 3 women in the family, 2 of which are well endowed. I just don't. I feel like I really am in the Twilight Zone today of all days. The person who hired you gave you the photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees Sisters Got Milk ad. I tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches, on which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." What? No, that's American speak. What? Okay, listen, Americans have never tasted good chocolate in their entire life. Good chocolate is built not from you don't need milk to make great chocolate. You just need the chocolate, the cocoa beans. You just, you grind them up, you get the oil, and you make the bar. Okay, that's what dark chocolate is. People think, oh, like a nice little like Kinder egg bar or something is the best chocolate there is. The milk adds flavor, but it's not a crucial ingredient. It's like spice. It's like saffron, or cinnamon, or cinnabon. I don't know, what's it called? You can add it, but it's not necessary to the entire process. And also, I kind of love the way that this game already paints a picture of these characters. Because CEO, right? Okay, entire family on the airplane. Pilot is Luigi, and he says one last job, right? The whole family's dead. Everyone on that plane is like dead, okay? And then we read about this, and they say being a Roottree is a full-time job, as if the children did anything, as if the children had to struggle like the father did to make the business, but also as if the father still struggles, even though he has like a bunch of people making chocolate, which is, by the way, chocolate is a well-known exploitive resource. Like it's the way that you get chocolate is pretty exploitative. It exploits people, and it's very well known how bad it gets in terms of chocolate. So this whole thing already paints a very grim picture of like the level of privilege that they live with, and that's interesting to think about because then it gives a motive, right? Again, what did Luigi say? He knew what he was talking about. This whole game is very coincidentally timed. And for those of you who don't know the Got Milk ads, it's a series of ads because the milk industry wants you to drink milk. And the ad is like, they have like a milk mustache on them. It's a real ad series. You should check it out. Ah, the 3 family members. I can't believe they're all gone. Now I know what they look like. All spitting images of their mother. And maybe their father, who I don't know about. Who is the oldest to youngest? They all look the exact same, actually. Like, what do you do if they all look the exact same? Okay, so what? Create highlights. Got milk? Yummy. Mommy milkers. Good, we'll save that. Okay, good. Very, very nice. Very nice. Welcome to your notepad. On each page, other than this one, you can jot down important information such as names, family, relationships, marital status, sibling counts, or anything else you'd like to remember. Page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Highlight any text from shortest to tallest. You know what's funny about that? I'm significantly taller than my siblings, right? but I'm the youngest. And it's all because of malnutrition. So this would only work if that were true. I also know somebody who's the youngest in his family, but he's a giant at 6'6", and his brother is only 5'7", or like only. But you know what I mean? Highlight any text in your web browser or evidence for the quick option to add to your notes. The entire contents of your notepad are saved even if you quit the game. Nice. Don't forget to check them when you return. Family reminders. Siblings, often referred to as brothers or sisters, people that share the same parents. You know, this is good. Because I don't know what a second cousin or a third cousin is. So cousins, people that share the same grandparents but not the same parents. What the hell are second cousins then? People that share the same Oh. American school terms. K to 12 stands for kindergarten to 12th grade. This includes all schooling from ages 5 to 18. You know, what is... Yeah, because other places have different things too. Is malnutrition a thing? You feel like a 7-foot person will be 7 foot even with malnutrition? Surprisingly, yes. Yes, surprisingly, if you get malnutrition... I can't remember where I read it, but I think it's... I'm pretty sure you can find it on the on the Wikipedia page for it. But like, it actually does mess with you when you're growing up. You just don't get enough of anything, and so your body just doesn't get to its full potential. Not to say that my family would have been any taller, right? Like, because my family is fairly short in general, but like, they were heavily like they were. It was malnutrition to an extreme degree, like a very extreme degree. That my family, in many ways, is very stunted. My siblings. Anyway, so we have milk. I have a computer. Search the internet for clues. Wow, I have a home. That's cool. Password. Oh, that's a password to become a computer. I just write it down. That's nice. What? The Notorious Montjoys. Eunice Montjoy. Pip Kittens. Valerie Montjoy. Demo Montjoy. Mystery Comics. Number 32. 15 cents. Tales of Suspense. Riot Girl. What is all this? There's a book over here. What? Alphabet Davis, Secret Searcher. Alphabet Davis, reverses. What? If you reverse this word, it says sus river. Family Doku. Alphabet Davis's ends and beginnings, a young alphabet adventure. Alphabet Davis in the erased names of the Genesis. What? Like the Bible? Like that Genesis? What? What is going on in this game? What else can I explore? Ooh. Oh. Sounds cool. Why is there like a dark city room inside of here? Oh god, this music is so good. Jesus. Oh. Yeah, it really nails the vibe of like a noir detective thing. Very well. I can't open the either. Okay, let's just go to the internet. What? Don't know where to look next? Get a hint. No. Oh. God, sorry. This game is just so good. It's just, I don't know. It's a full package. Welcome to the information superhighway. Can I make this as a note? Wait, here we go. Add page. Funny. Shit. How do I add this as a note? Type a note. Information superhighway. What the tech bros call the internet in order to extract more funds from gullible fuckfishes. I don't know if that's the right word. Thank you for purchasing the new Cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with a 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high resolution images. You find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end color laser printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. That's a crime. It's a crime to burn music to your own CDs now. If you listen to a song on Spotify and you burn it out, you're committing a crime. You wouldn't steal a car. You want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorer's new history feature. New? Happy surfing. And remember, cashew PCs are delicious. Thank you. You have no printers. What? This is weird. I actually like this. This is cool. Again, I love when games play with this idea of a fake internet world, because it's very easy for most people to understand, because most people have used browsers before to find things. Maybe not to the degree that I think newer generations do. I've heard that newer generations from my teacher friends, they say like kids can only really use mobile devices now, but there's like a time period for people where it's like Gen Z, which is me, into like maybe, like the like the millennial into the older Gen Z, I think it's the older Gen Z, where you have a lot of adeptness with the computer and like searching for information, that it's a very easy way to communicate what you have to do with it, and it feels very natural for you to just have in a game with no explanation, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, the more that games emulate real life, the easier it is for you to do a tutorial, at the cost of it feeling almost strange. Like, you can't play Elden Ring and then all of a sudden your character pulls up like a web browser to know what happened within the magic castle called Ray something. Time to burn your stream on CD. Honestly, I've thought about that. I could actually give you guys like VHS tapes of my stream. If you want the raw VOD file for my streams, just let me know. I allow you to burn my streams out onto a CD. It's your loss. So it doesn't really matter to me. Pro tip: you can create notes quickly by highlighting text with your mouse. Thanks. NE. What? Okay, first off, I know we have to explore this, but I want to see the Montjoys. Montjoy. Oh, it even has fake typing. Yes. Ah. The mysterious Montjoys. Oh. What about this? Alphabet Davis. Alphabet Davis. Oh! The Alphabet Davis series of books is set in the 1950s and follows a young, dashing adventurer named Martin Davis III. Would be funny, someone finding my stream on CD 20 years later. You wonder what they would think. They would, if they psychoanalyzed me, they would probably recognize that I'm not a good person to watch, or like a good influence, you know what I mean? Like they would be freaked out or weirded out by my cadence and the way that I think about things, and the way that I sort of like speak, and the topics that we go on. Because in 20 years, right? What do they find? Is it the time we played Flipside Frights and talked about Perfect Pitch? Or is it the time that we were playing some other game and talking about the mechanics of like a goon cave, right? Like what? It really depends on what they stumble upon. But I do want to try that. Like, can one of you burn? Actually, I've been thinking about this. Streaming and playing games is such an old thing, because I remember Game Center CX, right? And I imagine the reactions to me or anybody else who like does this would be the same reaction to somebody who's not familiar with the concept watching Game Center CX, where they go, "Why would you want to watch this?" That is to say, a bewilderment and almost a disappointment in the state of humanity. Alfred is a nickname that was given to him when he was young due to his interest in puzzles, riddles, and all sorts of other intellectual activities. Though he grew up a simple fisherman, he's in fact descended from pirates, and his books involve solving mysteries and finding treasure, often with a genealogical twist. All four are by Christoph Rogan. Hey, Rogan. Secret Searcher. Christoph Rogan. Oh, okay, same thing. Secret Searcher was the first book in the series. It was quite popular, and the sequel, Reverses, was pushed out within a year to capitalize. Many fans think it suffered in quality due to the accelerated timeline, but still appreciate it nonetheless. While the plot was extremely far-fetched and far more convoluted than in Alphabet's first outing, the writing style was the same and the characters were as fun as ever. After that, 2 more books were released. Their release dates were much further apart, as Christoph Rogan also began to design and release a series of puzzle books related to genealogy. Oh. Ends and Beginnings, a young Alphabet adventure, was both a prequel and sequel simultaneously. Really? and left out some of the first two books of beloved characters, which was a controversial choice. Still, it sold well, and critics generally felt that the story was less of a soap opera than a previous entry. They also appreciated that it reframed elements of the second book in more subtle ways, retroactively making reverses feel a bit more at home in the Alphabet Davis universe. Christoph Rogan announced that Ends and Beginnings was written as a conclusion, and meant for it to be the last Alphabet Davis book. When the fourth was released in 1998, there were rumors that it was written specifically to bankroll an electronic version of his true passion, the puzzle books. Due to a tonal shift midway through, fans even speculated that it was actually two different partial book drafts that were hastily merged together. Regardless, it was quite over the top, and the plot seemed somehow both bloated and undercooked. It is unclear if there will ever be another Alphabet Davis book, as the most recent one was not a success. These books are not related to your investigation into the Roottrees in any way. You could revisit them for old time's sake, but as each volume is more complex than the last, it might be counterproductive considering you have a job to do. But I bet you these books are actually a part of a secret in the game. Because Secret Searcher, Reverses, right? The names themselves almost lend themselves to a fascination. It feels like an in-lore reason as to why our character became a detective, right? Or like an investigator of the sorts. B, it must be a secret of some kind, because why would they add it if only just for the lore? Not to say that people can't do that, but it's pretty rare. You find a few websites about the riot girl subgenre of punk. It apparently got started in Olympia, Washington, when a few women got together to discuss sexism in the local scene, and it's ballooned from there. But of course, you knew all this already. After all, you have a poster on your wall. I need a BRB. I've turned off my lights to match the vibe, of a detective in their basement room that they had to rent out for dirt cheap because they don't make enough money, because who hires a detective nowadays except for secret EDs? And so therefore, I had to turn off the lights in order to save electricity and thus lower my rent. What else can I search for? But I have their pictures now. Oh, Mystery Comics. Yeah, here we go. Mystery Comics. Mystery Comics was a series of comic books published in the early 1940s. Like many of its contemporaries, the characters did not have any superhuman abilities or powers. The stories focus on ordinary people caught up in peculiar circumstances and were always solved by the end of the issue. Issue number 32 contains your favorite case, the missing branch. On her deathbed, an old woman reveals that she had a secret child and demands that all of its descendants share in her immense wealth. Her estate lawyers are perplexed. Who are these new beneficiaries? The only clue is a note they found on her dresser. Look closely at the family tree. All will become clear. With only minutes to go before the will reading, her son-in-law decides to take her note literally and uses a powerful magnifying glass to scour the illustrated family tree in her mansion's library, revealing the missing branch. The woman had secretly hired an artist who specialized in tiny illustrations to make sure they were included, despite her evil father's attempt to stop her. The story is a bit far-fetched, but you can't help but love it. This is neat. I actually really like this. Again, it's such a simple interface to learn, but then combined with the fact that you can take it at your own pace, like it's a real detective puzzle game. You can do anything with this. What was the news channel called? Oh shoot, news channel. News. Pilot. Airplane. 9/11? Roottrees. The first few pages are filled with news results about the plane crash. Besides that, there are countless advertisements and conversations about the various products made by the Roottree Candy Company. Right, so the create highlight. Roottree general results. Yes. This is very important information. Roottree family famous for making candy. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Like Willy Wonka, except didn't go off the rails and feel like there were spies around every corner. Okay, and then family died in plane crash. Roottree, really, I just do the Roottree family. Or maybe it's better to go from the note. Because I do want to note the link to Luigi. It's very important. Most articles mention Carl Roottrees, who is the president of the Roottrees Candy Company. Oh, his daughters are also eulogized, collectively referred to as the Roottrees sisters. They've been famous from a very early age. Oh, none of them was their mother. They were all sisters. Head of the Roottrees family tree. Head of the Roottrees family tree. Was on an airplane when it crashed. Prime suspect, Luigi. As one last hurrah. Good. Collectively referred to as the Roottrees sisters. They've been famous from a very young age, right? So we have their picture, but not their names yet. So 3 sisters. All of them look eerily similar to each other. Is it true that genetics means that you look like your siblings? More at 6. Oh, also, they were famous from a young age. Famous from a young age for modeling and fashion. Which, by the way, how come that's actually always true for some reason? There's always people who get very famous for modeling and fashion when they're the child of a rich person. Which says to me that the only way for you to look good is to have money. Or the only way for you to have clothing to buy to look good is to have money. Or that it's all a scam. I don't know. Maybe fashion is a scam. I have no clue. So Carl Roottrees. How did you die? Carl Roottrees died in a recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Roottrees, and their daughters, the Roottrees sisters. Well, okay, and then here we go. No, how do I extend the note? Here we go. Died in plane crash with wife, Brenda, and their 3 daughters. He was president of the Roottrees Candy Company, as well as a clothing company, Root, which he co-founded with his wife. According to news sites, the Roottrees Candy Company plans to put out a press release sometime within the hour to address the absence of Carl, the crash, the questions they've been receiving. Once you finish placing the Roottrees sisters on the family tree, it would be wise to repeat the search. Okay, so and then founded both Roottrees Candy Company, as well as clothing company Root. The period is in the name. Okay, there we go. And then what about Brenda Roottrees? What about Brenda? Oh. You stumbled across an auction for a black and white dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottrees and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. No. I think it's important. Because her original name was Brenda White. Before she became Brenda Roottrees, her real name was Brenda White. That's actually very important information. Brenda, the wife of Carl Roottrees. I knew her back when I was younger, when I was just a young lad. Her and I used to be at the university library every day. Talked about what is fashion, and does a 3-piece suit make me look like a cool detective? And how do I wear a trench coat without the police being suspicious of me? Wife of Carl Roottrees. Mother of Roottrees sisters. Died. Same plane. Skill issue. What else? Well, so now we have this information. Is the designer for Root the clothing company that Carl started? Okay, so this is very important information. original name before she started and was married was Brenda White, due to a dress up for auction that was branded a Brenda White original in the form, a phrase, a naming pattern that is typically reserved for companies named after someone who place their mark on their output. Let's say output because I'm a programmer. Okay, so Brenda White is actually her real name. Oh, I'm going too fast. I'm not allowed to talk about Brenda White. Okay, sure. Roottrees Sisters. Roottrees Sisters. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees Sisters' modeling careers. Huh. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site, seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text, and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Reina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. But Riley is a smart one. Rose is a middle child like me. Okay, cool. So here we go. One oldest of the 3 Roottrees sisters got married to somebody with the initials TMS. Very important. Riley. Nothing notable, but smart. Jonathan Blow! Jonathan Blow is smart. Doesn't seem like a very good thing to be. Note to self. Stay stupid. Stay strong. This is all contextual. If you weren't here like 2 hours ago, you won't understand that. Rose is a middle child. Middle child. Like the webmaster. Like the webmaster of the unofficial Roottree fan site. Okay, and then this means by deduction is the youngest child, because the 2 other places are already taken. Sad. You might think they're rich just because they're models, but the dad is also president of the candy company, and the mom Brenda is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand Root. I eat Roottree candy all the time. My favorite are Maple Tree Crisps. Maple Crisps. A product sold by the Roottree Candy Company. Once again, the Americans are appropriating Canadian culture. For maple syrup is ours, not yours, you sick fucks. And I try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday, I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. Yeah? What about Maple Crisps, eh? Maple Crisps are Roottree's most recent product. There we go. So, okay, so we got it. And we delete this. Introduced in 1992, there are a series of circular, crunchy wafers coated in nuts and chocolate maple flavoring. Why don't I just make the note the entire webpage? You know what I mean? Like, you know how you know how your teacher will tell you, okay, try to highlight the most important information, but as you're reading the textbook, like the entire thing is important. Why not just do that? Like the entire thing. Why not just do this? Like, what's so wrong about this? No, this is stupid. I can't do that now. There are a series of coated in nuts and chocolate maple flavoring. The website of a fan says they came to be during the tenure of Ernie Jr., a former president of the Roottrees Candy Company. Oh, it's a commercial that aired a few years back during the Super Bowl. Ah, yes. Super Bowl. That's the key information there. Super Bowl. seemingly were commercials. So this is, imagine POV, you're a detective that doesn't know anything about the world, right? You've never left your home. You just thought to yourself, I can be a private eye for any guy. And then you go out there and you try to do your best, okay? And so you're learning about these things for the first time in your life, but you've never heard of them before. And so you're trying to make sense of it all, but you're like, what in the hell is a Super Bowl? Where commercials for candy are shown. Might be a hidden society that seeks to perpetuate obesity via chocolate across the entire nation. Well, how about this? High blood sugar via chocolate across the entire nation? Because I'm pretty sure chocolate is like 0 calorie, no? Isn't chocolate like really low calorie if you just eat chocolate? Might be the reason why I have diabetes. Shopping list. 4x packs of Coca-Cola. I ran out of my daily rations. This is some deep cut comedy that you will only understand if you read all my notes in one go. Okay, Super Bowl. We got the Super Bowl. Ernie Jr. Ernie Jr. Ernie Jr. was a former president of the Roottrees Candy Company. He seemed to directly precede Carl Roottrees. And one website even says that he was Carl's mentor. He apparently was very successful as a president, but not so much a public figure. He was rarely seen in public and stepped down due to illness in 1996. He has since passed away. Predecessor of Carl, mentor to Carl, claims one website, if such websites even exist. Very good at job, but terrible public figure. So true, King. Stepped down in 1996 due to illness. Dead. Very good. So he's dead. See Ernie Jr. note for information on predecessor and supposed mentor. My sources say he was a mentor. 1996. Illness. Washington. Olympia. Okay, well, we know the ages of people. So we know how old people are. We know what the order of the sisters are. And we know everything about their sort of like family tree now. We even know where sort of Ernie is. We are starting to build a bit of a picture of the company as well. And how the organizational lines lay. And that is to say, this is going to put me on a list because I don't think after some recent events you can make an organizational chart anymore without it being suspicious, right? Like if you start to ask a company, who is your CEO? I think that puts you on a list now. So let's just ignore the company list and let's think about very specifically the people, the sisters, all the people that we know about, and specifically the names directly. Who is Reina? Spider Search was founded in 1997. It's one of the most up-to-date advanced search engines around, but modern technology has its limits. It's recommended to search for only one personal content at a time, and searching for a name, use both a first and a last name if possible. Searching a single first name or a last name will lead to finding nothing relevant. If someone is prominent enough to be found online and that person goes by a nickname, you may get different results from searching for that nickname. So again, we need to search for her fiance or husband as well. We do Riley Roottrees. Rose Roottrees. Hey, look, this is different. Look, these two are the same obituaries, right? These two are the same obituaries for Raina and Riley, but Rose has her own thing. Rose Roottrees is not as popular as her older sister Raina, but still very well known. Most of the time, they're lumped together as the Roottrees sister. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. So Rose is not that popular. Rosé is not that popular, but I love Rosé, so does it really matter? Not as popular as Reina. Where does this leave Riley? It's Reina, Rose, and Riley, no? What's his names? God, the names are stupid. Who puts an H in the middle of their names? Like, this is so dumb. What? You know what it reminds me of? These are tragedy names. It's that concept where you have like a name and you just add different letters so it sounds different and looks different. These are tragedy names. I need a beer restart. Like, you're telling me that the Roottrees don't have somebody who's there as like a name checker? Someone who could tell them like, hey, this name is stupid. And why is it that rich people always name their kids stupid names? You know what I mean? Anyway, so Riley, so it's not important. TMJ is... Wait, isn't TMJ the thing with your jaw? TMJ. Yeah, it's temporal mandibular joint dysfunction. It's where your jaw gets like stuck. What? She was married? Does she have TMJ? Who's she married to? TMS, sorry, his name is TMS. Oops. TMS is a common abbreviation for early 90s teen heartthrob, Tommy Mark Sheridan. Oh shit. Who? Also known by his common abbreviated nickname TMS. Because who names their child with 3 first names? It's like a Gen Z. You know what's crazy to think about? Private detectives are still a thing, right? Gen Z is entering the workforce. At some point, your detective could be a Zoomer. Like, imagine what they say. Imagine your detective finds a lead on your long-lost father who left your family and disappeared but left $3 million, and you want to know if they're still alive. And they say, Skibbity, I think I found out who your father was. I was trying to think of more words, but I don't know other Gen Z lang besides Skibbity. Reina. Got married to somebody with the initials. Apparently, who stands for Tommy Mark Sheridan. See their separate note. Okay, cool. His first credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. Huh. He skyrocketed to popularity after a starring role on the sitcom Brother Trouble. Wait, Brother Trouble? Like Big Brother. Isn't this just Dan Giesling? Since the end of Brother Trouble, he has often been on the cover of tabloids for his supposed drug use, and more recently, his relationship with Reina Roottrees. After a short engagement, they were married in 1997 when she was only 19 and he was 23. Ew. That's... Ew. Ew. She was 19, he was 23 when she married. Ew. Loves drugs. Loves Reina. Simple as. Only my UK viewers are gonna understand that joke. Time marches onward. Hey, time marches onward. So, starred in... Did he star in this? His first credited role, okay, as Thomas Sheridan. Oops. Yeah, okay, so... Huh. Oi. That's weird. How come it doesn't... Simple as... First credited role as Thomas Sheridan on Time Marches Onward. Starred in sitcom Brother Trouble. Okay, well, I don't know why I didn't scroll down there. That was kind of weird. Thank God I typed it well. Kind of. Not really. Uh-oh. Why? Is it too many notes? What happened? Whatever. We have this. Time Marches Onward is a soap opera. It was the first credited role for Tommy Mark Sheridan, who was only 7 years old and still being credited as Thomas Sheridan at the time. Who is Mark Sheridan then? According to research, the show has been on air for 22 years and is set to focus on 3 large families that own different ranches in the same town in Texas. TMS appeared as Carson in 53 episodes before his character went away to camp. A few episodes later, his parents learned of his off-screen death in a terrible whitewater rafting incident. Jesus. After a 6-year absence, Carson returned, now with partial amnesia. He recalled that though he was safe from the river, the couple who found him were evil drug runners. They smuggled him across the Mexican border. Ooh, well, this is getting a bit political, and sold him into child labor. Ooh, yeah. After he managed to escape, he couldn't remember who he was. He eventually found his way home by following the address that his parents had written on the tag of his jacket. During the second run, Carson was played by an actor other than Tommy Mark Sheridan. The discrepancy was explained by covering his face in bandages and claiming that his work in the silver mines left him permanently disfigured and caused his voice to sound completely different. After a plastic surgery operation that happened amidst a hostage situation at the local hostel. Jesus, this is like a telenovela. The bandages were removed, and a new actor played Carson for an additional 3 years, appearing in over 500 episodes. He was then killed permanently this time, while saving his youngest sister from drowning in a whitewater rafting accident that happened at the same river where his initial accident took place. Fascinating as all this is, none of it seems related to the Roottrees. No, you're wrong. Because who is Mark Sheridan? Oh. Thomas Sheridan. Okay, well, I was trying to find like a cool new nickname. Because Mark has to come from somewhere. The Mark in his name. Because how does he get the name Mark? Carson. Well, I don't know why this doesn't scroll down. Wasn't a good actor. Let's just say that. What about your other sitcom, eh? Mr. TMS? Brother Trouble. Brother Trouble was a 1989 sitcom about 2 16-year-old brothers the same age, one adopted, played by Tommy Mark Sheridan and Dustin Christopher Baker. Their single mother, played by stand-up Penelope Tessa Green, often had to navigate her job as a magazine columnist as well as the troubles that come with raising 2 boys, who were extremely competitive in sports, academics, and even romantic pursuit of their next-door neighbor, Roxy. The Showtime brother was small screen director Ron. Oh my god, it's nepotism. Here we go. Ron Roottrees probably introduced TMS to his now 19-year-old fiance when he was 23 years old. I'm gonna be real with you. I would never date somebody who's 19 and I'm 23. Like I remember when I was 23, and I remember when I was 19, and those are 2 different lifetimes. Like this doesn't feel good. The show had strong ratings through the entirety of season 1, rocketing both Sheridan and Baker to instant stardom, mostly amidst the teen girl demographic. However, it was cancelled in 1991 midway through the second season due to a significant drop-off in the ratings. I wish I could move these notes by doing different pages. Like I wish I could take this note and shift it to this page. Can I? No, you can't. Because how do I keep this? How do I keep the yellow highlight as I move it? Because then I want to organize this into primary, secondary, tertiary. Like people that are related closely, people who aren't related closely, and then people who are like, fuck nuts. I don't know what the term is. Wasn't a good actor. All the way down. And all the way to the very, very end. Got a job on a show directed by Ron Roottrees, Brother Trouble. Okay. So, and then presumably where he met the sisters. Oh god, it's so good. Dustin Christopher Baker. Dustin Christopher Baker, often abbreviated by DCB by teenage fans. Here we go. Abbreviated DCB. Why do people get abbreviated names? Since leaving Brother Trouble... Oh wait, starred... What is this? What the fuck is this? Why is it like an R&B track? Yeah! Alright! Bitches come and go. You know what I mean? Like, why does it sound like this? Why is it such an R&B type of track? What is this? Starred in Brother Trouble with TMS. He has appeared in a few straight-to-VHS movies that adapt classic literature to a family audience with minor success. The most popular of which was Jane Eyre, which reimagined a Charlotte Bronte novel as a high school romance with a focus on skateboarding. Well, it's too late. I just want to keep it going though. Jane Eyre. Charlotte Bronte. VHS. I know what VHS is. I just want to see it. Okay, so it's Penelope Tessa Green. Penelope Tessa Green. Printing Joko Lantern. Fuck, laugh at chat. Hey, who's printing something? Hey, who's using my printer? Yo, why is there a pentagram? What the fuck? Where do I see the printed stuff? Where do I see the printed paper? You found this on a website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. It was captioned, Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1994. Huh. Joko Lantern. You found this on a website about a comedy club called The Laugh Lounge. It's a photo titled Joko Lantern, 1997, and was taken during one of Penelope Tessa Green's fundraisers. Imagine you go to a website and a random... I should do that. I should make my website very soon once it's fully done. I should make it randomly print something out. You know what? I actually want to do that for my resume site, my real life resume site. What I'm going to do is when you go to my resume site, it'll just randomly print out my resume for you to read. So it forces you to read my resume. Wait, that's sick though. I should try that. I should do that. Penelope Tessa Green is a... Let me write it down. Resume site. Force a print of my resume so that the person who visits my real resume site, not for stream, will see my resume printed out. We'll try it first with my streamer site, okay? We'll try it for something funny there. Is a retired comedian. There's a result for The Laugh Lounge, a club in Reno that claims Penelope got her stand-up start and first did her famously raunchy breast milk cheese routine in the 80s before she was a TV star on Brother Trouble. I knew it. It all comes back to the breast milk. How many gallons of it was in Zenless Zone Zero? The site claims she retired for the birth of her first child, but still makes yearly appearances for fundraisers, doing more family-friendly material. You find a picture labeled Joko Lantern 1997, as well as a different picture labeled Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets, 1994. So Jack was off on the side watching his mother's charity set. Jack was off on the side watching his mother's charity set. Both have been added to the evidence. Sure. Breast milk cheese. Ah, no pictures? Really? Reno. Right, that's in Vegas. The Laugh Lounge. So, but why is she... How is she connected and who the hell is Jack? What does it matter? But we know this. Jack Tessa Green. Excuse me? What if I just do Jack? Retired comedian. Family-friendly material. Jack watching one of his mother's charity sets. Penelope Charity. Kid, I guess that's all information we have on them. So, I mean, that is interesting to know about, but I don't really know how useful this is. But this could come in handy later. Let's just save it for now. Has child named Jack, who was off on the side watching his mother's comedy set. Did breast milk cheese routine wherein she squeezed old, crusty breast milk out of her tatas, out of her calcium cannons, onto the audience, causing a riotous, infectious wave of vomiting to occur, shutting down all of Reno due to the biohazard that spawned. Note above is fan fiction. Uh-oh. I don't know why it doesn't let you scroll that. It's very weird. So, she's not related, but Ron Roottrees is very interesting because he's also a person in the family. Ron Roottrees is a small screen director and head of RR Productions. He directed episodes of a few other shows before showrunning and creating a one-season hit, Brother Trouble. So, small screen director, head of RR Productions, part of Roottrees family? RR Productions. Defunct production company responsible for Brother Trouble. You find a comment on a Usenet board. Okay, this is old stuff, saying that Brother Trouble ended up being an ironic name, considering the rumors about RR Productions, Ron and Robbie Roottrees. Wait a minute, what rumors? Huh. There's not much information about Robbie Roottrees. In a comment thread on the message board about television cliches, you find a thread called "Why Was Brother Trouble Cancelled?" One user speculates,
I think it's because the writing really went downhill in season 2. They actually had an episode where Roxy was addicted to sniffing markers.
Another person replied,
Maybe it's due to the rumor about Robbie Roottrees in Silver Screen Magazine.
There's a link to some kind of article, but it appears to be dead. Who's Robbie Roottrees? Robbie Roottrees. Okay, well, what? Okay, fine. Really? You're gonna keep that spelling? I'm gonna keep the spelling of a caveman? Of an idiot? How dare you ruin my beautiful piece, my beautiful notes with your disgusting low-level quality capitalization. What's this? Brother of Ron. Brother of Robbie. Rumors of a falling out? Something involving Silver Screen Magazine and Robbie. Had falling out, rumored to have some issues with Ron, leading to RR Productions closure. Root, rumors seems related to Silver Screen Magazine. Silver Screen Magazine. You know what this feels like? This feels like an unhealthy obsession with online personalities. Also, this history button fucking sucks. Look, Silver Screen Productions. I'm on Robbie Roottrees, right? I click back, it takes me to RR. I go forward, it takes me back to Robbie. What? Eh? Oops. New periodical added. What? But yeah, this feels like somebody who has an unhealthy obsession with like a streamer, and they go, I need to know everything. So you go to VTuber Wiki to learn more about me, and you realize, wait, this guy still doesn't even have a model, but he uses the VTuber tag. Is something wrong with him? And then you want to find more information, so you find my YouTube channels that you can go watch on YouTube and give me views and therefore money. And then you keep on watching me, and you're like, oh man, I know everything about him. He has a wife, he has a dog, I know so much. I feel like I know him. And then one person that he streams with makes this joke about being John Lennon or something. Silver Screen Magazine was a Hollywood Insiders magazine focusing less on actors and actresses and more about the nitty-gritty of writing, directing, and costuming, set design, film promotion, and other elements of filmmaking. It ran from 1983 to 1993. It was sought by a bigger, more recognizable magazine a few years ago. The website now redirects to the new magazine. The new magazine doesn't appear to have any relevance to my case. Yes, it does. What was that thing that it told me? Something about a periodical. What in the fuck is a periodical? Where do I find the periodicals? No. Where are the periodicals? Periodicals. Where's the periodical? Periodical. How do I know if I get a periodical? Maybe I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm skipping ahead too far. You know, like I'm going way too deep. Was a part of something that caused falling out between Ron and Robbie Roottrees. Part of Roottrees family? Okay, well, we know what the sisters are. Let's just do the sisters. So we know who is the oldest and the youngest. Problem is, there's no way I'm gonna figure this out. Like, there's no way that their height correlates to their age. It just doesn't seem possible. Spouse is TMS. Who the hell are these people? Who's Gwyneth Anderson? What the fuck is that? What? How do I know these names? Huh? Who's this? What the fuck is this? What? What? Oh no, chat, there's too many connections now. There's a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottrees Candy Company. Oh, but before it was a success. So wait, so Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees, founders of Roottrees Candy Company. When you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias and Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. They'll be marked in a chart with the star. So, do you always have access to this? Like, their names will always pop up. You find some information on the website for the first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. Gwyneth, originally Gwyneth Anderson, inheritor to the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias' idea to create candy instead. The success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it's been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to the websites, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn of the century appliances that would have used as a housewife in the early 19... Wow. I too love my historical tours into someone's home to look at how somebody was such a good housewife. Over here, we see the oppression of women and the connection with the oven. I do enjoy that bit of history, yes. 5 pieces. Wait, is this like 5 gum? They're from marketing materials and various candy history sites. You learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces of small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so the 5 flavors, with its shape in combination with maple, have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from the book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Unfortunately, when you click through to the website, it looks like all the image links are broken. That's some good shit. Alright, a little Charles Lee. Well, of course, because it's a broken. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So you always have a list of notables, which is the people in the thing that's like very important. But like that's a lot of fucking people. Holy shit. Wow, you have to go through a lot of information at some point. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. At some point, you're gonna have to go through all of this. What's his name again? What's his name? His name was TMS? Oh god, you know what this needs? A search. Reina was married to TMS Tommy. Tomster. His name is near. Why? Well, this is for sure Reina. Right? Yeah, Reina is the oldest of the three sisters. Unknown occupation. What was her occupation again? She was 19 when she married. You know what? Such is the blindness to a woman's life. Such is the patriarchal society that we live in, that I care not about what she does for a living, but who she's married to, as if that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucked up with me. Sorry about that. I'll fix that right now. Well, I think they're just models. I think all of them are just models. So, model baby. What's your job? You're a baby. Medium. What do you do for a living? Goo goo gaga. Gong gaga. That's what I do for a living. I'm Gong gaga. My occupation is I'm baby. Sorry, that's just funny to me. Military. yeah. The youngest sister wanted to stand out from among her other sisters. So sorry, the middle sister does the thing where they want to stand out, so she became a military officer. Riley, nothing notable but smart. Jonathan Blow is smart. Why did I write that? Youngest child. So Riley is the youngest. Job? Military. Model. And then Rose is the middle model. But we know nothing about her too. Rose? What? What do you mean? Wait, so the Rose name isn't known. What? She must go by a different name. But what's her name? Rose Roottrees. It's not as popular as her older sister. They're lumped together. If someone isn't in the list of names that your employer provided, doing a deeper dive on will often lead to additional discoveries. And search for them. Right. I get what it's trying to tell me to do. Is that she has a different name. And I guarantee you what happened is that she actually came from another marriage. Because who was her mother before? Her mother was Brenda White. So what's her real name? Rose White. White Rose. White. Somebody that's named White in this family tree. Because Brenda White was the mom's original name. I'm assuming the middle child... An affair! It's an affair! It has to be an affair. That's the only way that would make sense. Or she's adopted. Why is she not popular? Because she might be adopted. What are the things that I know about the mom? Let's go back. We go back. I think I know what's going on. Okay, so we have Brenda Roottrees. She's the key. Brenda White original. Root. The period is a part of the name. That's what I said too. It's a clothing company. They make clothes for children, from toddlers to teenagers. Although the website is down, likely due to increased traffic, you find countless retail stores attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. Do I have Root? Root. Clothes for children, toddlers to teenagers. Brenda Roottrees, née White, is designer. All three Roottrees sisters are models. One of them has this to say. You spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly in those catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina. You also come across a site from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There's only one that the webmaster considers a collector item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottrees sister's mother and Root's head designer, appeared on one cover, holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this was the only time my daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree. Oh, thank God. I was like, please don't tell me those are her real kids' names. Like, that's awful. Thank God they have really good names. Carly Roottree. There we go. I was like, there's no way that your child is named Rose with an H, right? That's just stupid. Real name Carly Roottree. I don't know why I can't bring this down, but sure. There's still a couple bugs in this game, I think. This one came out pretty recently, so it's still a fairly fresh game. But so far, this is a pretty cool game. There's a lot of ways that you can connect the dots, and the way that they write the information, it's both very obvious, but it doesn't feel so obvious that it feels trivial. Like, it does feel like fun to go through, as if you're a real detective. And it kind of feels like a natural consequence of how we write information on, like, out in the world anyways, and how people tend to, like, you know, correlate things naturally just because of connected interests, right? Like, it's just a normal way of writing. It feels very natural the way that this comes across. It doesn't feel gamey. Obviously, this is probably the tutorial level, so it's very easy, but, you know, it's pretty good. You discover a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Roottrie girls lists the answer: Raina, Carly, and Riley. The explanation below the answer states that Rose was originally born Carly Rose Roottree. Real name Carly. No, okay, well, fuck. Born Carly Rose. I can't see what I'm spelling, man. It's fucking. I'm gonna do it in a notepad and copy it in after. Born Carly Rose Roottree. This is stupid. I have to open Notepad to do this on the side. Here, you want to see this? Here. Roottree copier. Here we go. Just like real shit here. This is how a real detective works. I don't know a single person who doesn't use Notepad. I think Notepad is just the best tool ever. And then full screen this. There we go. You don't need to know what encoding I'm using. That's private information, please. Below child, like the webmaster of the unofficial Roottree website, born Carly Rose Roottree. Apparently, her parents had planned to name a son Carl Roottree Jr., but after finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, a now preteen Carly strongly expressed her dislike that her sisters had RH names and she was the odd one out. That's when she began to go by her middle name. Oh. Named so because she was a mistake. I see what they're putting down. Yeah, I see what they're putting down. Okay, well, Carl Roottree. Because junior implies that there's a senior, right? So there must be a senior Carl Roottree. Wait, oh right, that's the dad. He just, well, what a narcissist. What the fuck? Why do people name their child after themselves? Like, you can't think of a better name, really? Like, let them have their own life, man. Carly. Model. Fill in the photos. I don't know what to do about the photos. I have no clue. What implies their age? Like, what at all implies their age? Is it the gold hoop earring? Is it the gold hoop earring? A sign of somebody who's reaching their middle age, and so they still want to feel young and hip and sexy, but they can't do any more? Is it the sign of what the fuck is this colorway? I'm sorry. What is this? This is a shirt for 5-year-olds. Okay, she's the youngest because she has the worst fashions. No, but this is the oldest one because she's married because of the ring. So, oh god, it's between these two of the youngest and see, I knew it. See, I told you all, height doesn't correlate to age because the shortest person here is the only one who's married, and there's only one of them who is married to TMS, to TMJ. Shit. Oh, you know what? Something about the plaid. It was on the website, the webmaster site. Yeah, it was on the fan site. So you are the oldest. The one with the ring is the oldest. It's the one that looks like the rest of them. It's the one that's looking left. Oh god, they all look the same. Oh Jesus Christ, they all look. Okay, you're the oldest. Oh god, they all look the same. Roottrees sisters. Other obituaries. Yep. And try to dress in plaid root clothes like Riley. So Riley is the one with the plaid root clothes. Riley is plaid. Plaid. Okay, and then this is bada bing, bada boom. I know everybody. Woo! Private Eye. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Yes! You've also locked the following optional entries. What? Wait. I'm gonna go back. No. Go back.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use
Go
the
back!
internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Okay, because I tried to enter his name, but it wouldn't let me enter his name as like Tommy but his full name, his real name was Thomas Sheridan, because that's his. Oh, I'm so stupid. I need to go use the washroom. I need to like focus. All right, I've got one immediate complaint about this game. I wish it allowed you not to finish your objective and then move on immediately. I wish it gave you the chance to click on something like, okay, I'm done. Maybe it did, and I don't remember that I clicked that, but I didn't know that it would also finish the optionals. And I wish it let you go back, because I know his name, Thomas Sheridan. It sucks that I don't get to have the info. But hopefully, it's the same board all the way through, so maybe it's not that bad. Maybe we are allowed to have that information filled in at some point, and it's fine.
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch.
Why do I feel like this is Penelope?
The Roottrees go way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine.
That's right, because I have the internet and an infinite notebook.
The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family.
Yes.
For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives.
See, I had a feeling it was going to play into this angle, because family is what you make of it, but also family is who you continue to accept from your blood relatives too, right? From your blood.
Anyone related only by marriage is optional. But filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
Yeah, can I go back now, please?
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees.
Thank you.
Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree.
Right, I was explaining this before.
I'm off for now.
Bye.
Our Roottree had a lot in his office.
Ow, you
I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
She's like a demon. she's like a mystical creature who knows how much information I have in my head, and as soon as I know someone's name, she's like, I'm back. How does she know that I know? You know what I mean? How does she?
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here.
Ah.
Thank you, and good luck.
Who is she? And what exactly is she looking for here? The lady in the dead of night coming to my door to find something? And it's not because of what I'd said to her last night at the bar? Suspicious. But I've got a job to do. And my job is to figure out what happened to the Roottrees. Faced up, who you married to? Thomas Sheridan. Sheridan Thomas. You're married to Thomas Sheridan. Yep. Before the hot person who hired you returns, every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, name, occupation, and portrait, they'll be locked in. All non-blood relatives, small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. Right. You don't have any portraits available to add to the family tree. To get started, click on Faces on your Evidence tab. Ooh, oh, right. I see. You get more of this and you add more faces, right? Boop. I already clicked all of them. They've been headshot. Headshot you. Headshot you and you. God, that baby is so ugly. Babies are so ugly. The news! Can I headshot him? Oh, I wish. The FMV was so good. The Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees, who they said would be the easiest family members to place. They said they would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. Sure. Notable Roottrees. Very nice drawing. Very nice drawing. There's a list of notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could easily be found on you via your search engine. I also liked her line about people who don't use the internet. And I actually like this gameplay style. Because it feels like it's a free-form detective game. Like there's no need for you to actually follow a particular story. It's free-form how you want to explore the place. And you can choose whichever angle you want. But it is funny that the game gives you the fully completed tree. I think I would have enjoyed building the tree myself from the top down. Because that, I think, would have been more fun than having the entire tree visible. It maybe as like a... Maybe not as a default, but as a hard mode. Because then you could really build these relationships together and see, okay, who birthed who died, who went where, what's going on, and what drama related to what action. Like maybe somebody cut someone off because of some drama, like the Ron and then Robbie, and then I could have like an X or something being like, these two are no longer... They no longer consider themselves to be brothers. That could, like, it could have been better. But it's just more of a dream. Well, it's intuition. I've been in this line of work for a long time. So long, in fact, you develop a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. The higher the number, the more there is to find. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells. A list of famous people that you can find via search engines. It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, the numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family members, new discoveries are also added to the list, and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often, the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such high value is because it can lead to more evidence, immediately missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Right. Well, I have some good information immediately. 5 pieces. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. So Carl... No, not Carl. What's his name? Elias. Elias, the head of the Roottrees family, had 5 kids. Five kids. Damn. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Okay, so 5 pieces. Wait, I have a note for 5 pieces. Formula has changed over the years. Named as such... Named after the original 5 kids of Elias and Gwyneth, the patriarch and matriarch of the family. 5 kids, damn. All of whom are names of the original flavors of 5 pieces. Originally, flavors named after the original. Gotcha. So, one child was named Cool. I'm just kidding. Man. Because it's no longer the 1920s. 1920s. Okay? 1920s. Watch this. 5 pieces. Let's say 5 pieces normally. What does it give you? This one, right? Tastes have changed and it changes the thing. 1920. This is a 1920s. Although no longer they still sell small, colorful coated candies in pressed in shape. We've already read this. The shape in combination with the maple have been consistent. Shape has been consistent. Charles Lee is gone. Sweet History of Candy. Volume 1. I think I tried Charles Lee too. I think he's just dead. Okay, he's too dead. So, with some... Okay, well, we know who the people at the top were. And what these small notes? I need 3 more correct blood relatives before they'll lock in. Was founded in 1908 by Gwyneth. Okay, so they had kids 20 years later. Top secret. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. There's 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. X means they split up. Guardian, adoption, or otherwise. Unknown name. Well, we know this. Wow. I like how the mom is relegated to just spouse. I mean, obviously, that's how the game described it as, but still, it's just damn. Because she has a whole line of Brenda White stuff too, so her original name, which I feel like could have been a cool thing to figure out. Brenda. What the fuck? Carl. Occupation CEO. Picture? I don't know. We have done. This is Elias. Well, okay, so this is Elias. Elias Roottrees. Gwyneth Anderson. I don't know what her occupation is. Like, is your occupation just... I mean, she was a housewife, right? Is that an occupation, or is that like... Is that punishment? That feels like punishment. In some way. Yeah, he was a candy maker. Or a farmer, right? Was he closer to a farmer or a CEO? Famous picture. Elias Roottrees was the founder and first president of the Roottrees Candy Company. You find what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Roottrees Candy Company. At the top, there's a picture of him and his wife, Gwyneth. The picture has been added to your evidence. There's also a biography section with some additional information. He is credited for inventing 5 Pieces, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. So is he an inventor, a farmer, or a CEO? Still seems unclear. But the 5 Pieces became wildly successful. Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. Or is he a family man? He is quoted on the site as saying blood is thicker than syrup. That's so lame. And that any child linked to me by blood shall be linked by blood to my legacy. The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise but offers no additional detail. Wait a minute. As if the person who ran that site is actually a Roottrees. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there is a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one that stands out. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year, so Carl was also a watchman. But that's not true. Carl is now a thing. CEO. I mean, Watchman is an interesting title. Why would he be a watchman? So I guess he was a go-getter, right? He was a startup person. He was doing this on the side. But invent? Candy. What's the term for a candy person? Comedian. Housewife. Let's just fuck it. You're fuck it. For now. We need to find the quotes to get his children. Bess Williams. Also, the music in this game is so wildly different in volume. It's not normalized at all. Everything is like wildly different. Bess Williams was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Information about her or her book Family Man seems to have faded over time due to interest. There's 2 books. Is this book? Wait, no, it's the same book. Family Man. Okay, so Family Man. Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy by Bess Williams was a very poorly received book about Elias Roottrees. It's impossible to find a copy of the book these days, even in a bookstore. 5 Pieces, a maple candy, which is about his children. Picture of him and his wife Gwyneth. Gwyneth Paltrow. Great grandson Carl, which makes sense. Because that's his son, that's his grandson, that's his great grandson Carl. Right. Right. And then this successor, I wonder, there was a successor. Ron, no, not Ron. There was a successor to Carl named Ernie Jr. But predecessor of Carl, does that mean that he is the father of Carl? Because it didn't seem like it. Because Ernie Jr. could be anywhere, but this has to be Ernie then. This is Ernie. Ernie? What is Ernie a nickname for? I know it's skipping ahead, but this is interesting. Gwyneth Anderson. You find some pictures, information on the website for the first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, yep. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Anderson, yep. To create candy instead. 5 pieces, still in stores. Used to be higher. Okay, 5 pieces. They're no longer the only company shape of maple syrup. Ads. 20s. 1920s was when that was good. Ernie Jr. One website says he was seen as a public figure, so Ernie Roottrees. Ernesto Roottrees. Ronaldo Roottrees. What the fuck does Ernie stand for? Okay, well that's a dead end. Okay, let's just we did Ron and Robbie. I don't know where those two go either. There's more notables. Carl Roottrees we know about, but we have no photo of him. Oh yeah, we have no photo of him. We have a photo of him. Oh wait, this is the notice. Wow, wait. Carl Roottrees, there's a short press release that the Roottrees Candy Company released today to news organizations. We're in 1998, right. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottrees sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottrees family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of a company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you will join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of his accomplishments. Like his great-grandfather, Watchman of the Year. Here we go. Hey, Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on company CEOs and the economy. So Elias was not a housewife. He was a CEO.
I'm getting closer. My intuition tells me that Elias was not a housewife, but a CEO. Wow, I'm such a good detective. Anyone want to hire me from Secret Eaters? I can be your private eye, your private guy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another, and will often read about major changes in management of famous companies. Every year, they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this Watchman of the Year. Because you gotta watch him, man, right? For the entire year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchmen of the Year, Elias and Carl. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via spider search. You may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. What is... Oh, here we go, the periodicals! We're Silver Screen, defunct magazine that contained movie production news focused on the business. Watch this. We go wrong. Roottrees. There's an article about Ron Roottrees from 1984 entitled, "Don't Blame Nepotism, He Gets Results." Damn. After finding some small screen success, first as a director for many soap opera episodes, and stepping in as a showrunner to turn around a few struggling productions, Ron has decided to start his own television production company. Don't blame nepotism, he gets results, right. Ron was born in the US, but grew up in Paris with his once famous mother and his brother Robbie. He gobbled up American cinema wherever he could when he was old enough to return to Hollywood to attend film school. He brings a special kind of charisma and an eye for unusual shots, particularly when it comes to comedy. Those he's worked with have gone on record saying he's an attentive director who can work with the actors to make sure the timing of a joke lands perfectly. Ron plans to pitch new shows to major television studios as soon as 1986. Until then, he plans to find the right project.
He has occasionally called upon his younger brother for script punch-ups and has thought about bringing him into the fold. Mother was once famous. So where are you, Ronnie? Mr. Ron. Okay, we'll do cut paste. We'll have to go inside this. Okay. Because for some reason I can't scroll this down. So this is very silly. This is a little silly here. I can't really scroll this down. Did I get the rose one? Yeah, I did. Okay, so good at what he did. Born in Paris, as was Rob. As was Robbie. What was I gonna write in here? Nepotism? No. Oh. Was the one who brought Robbie into the film field. Fold, as they say in the bizwax. Gotcha. Where are you? Ron. No! Fuck! Like, fuck, my organization, man. Alright. Now we're gonna do Robbie Roottrees. Robbie. Oh, right. Mother was once famous. Mother was once famous. Implying either dead or no longer famous. Or both. Oops. There we go. Robbie Roottrees. A small rumors article from 1992 that claims that television screenwriter Robbie Roottrees was allegedly tried, and convicted. Oh my god, convicted. Wow. Imagine being convicted. Under the name of Robert in a French court of law. Man, imagine being named Robert. It seems he, again, allegedly, embezzled from the company Aura Productions to fuel a gambling habit that left him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. He then fled to Paris, where he grew up, and then Silver Screen continues to assist us all very much allegedly, assaulted a police officer who came to question him. The article's author says that they were unable to get a statement from French authorities, but received information from an anonymous source and were able to confirm through public record that there is a trial involving a Robert Roottrees around the time that Brother Trouble was cancelled. Okay, so he actually is... That's why they went downhill. I see. This is a better article for them both, so maybe I'll save this article instead. Okay, so... Close that. Close this. Robbie Roottrees. Trade highlight. Now we write this. So, brother of Ron. Rumored to have some issues with Ron. Root of rumors seem related to Screen Magazine. Part of Roottrees family. Was alleged to have been embezzling funds from RR Productions to fuel gambling habit, escaping back to Paris where there are no extradition laws. I have no clue if that's true, but maybe I have no clue. Involved in a lawsuit. Involved in a trial around the time of the closure of Brother Trouble, show that was ran with Brother Ron. Presumably, this is why. Presumably, above embezzlement is why. Real name of Robert Roottrees. Gotcha. Oops. So, what about Robert? So now I go back to the internet. Again, this is an interesting way of doing it. This whole fake internet, but also the fake encyclopedia is pretty neat. Because the encyclopedia thing, you don't really see this anymore, but yeah, you'd have two sections. One was a compiled list of information that would try to find, stuff like, again, like specific topics like magazines and stuff. But also, sometimes it would be like an offline database similar to like a dictionary, but very much like an encyclopedia. And then you also had just the internet, which was just live. It was alive at the time, and it was just stuff that people were talking about. very odd to see. It brings me back to those old days. Public library. Oh! Robert Roottrees. Shit. One's famous mother. We have some books. One is the candy. We know exactly where to find the candy. Get this text file off my screen. We gotta get the 5 pieces candy. Because the book that we need to find is Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Charles Lee. Here we go. Oops. No. Okay. Charles Lee. Here we go. Published in 1985. I printed out the Vintage something too. I wish the notifications too would stay until you're done. Like even after they're done printing, like a log of the things that were in queue, so you could like see what was printed. It goes by so fast that it's hard to see. It's part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. Starts in 1925, so 1920s was when the 5 pieces was started. So we should get the names then. And continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts. What? Expert? I'm an expert on candy. I'm an expert on candy and pho and barbecue. Well, no one's asking me for my opinions. The fuck? With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. Oh, that's why. Include some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s. Sure. There's also one called Family Man, right? Family Man involving Mr. Elias Roottrees. I'm a family man by Bess Williams. Bess Williams. Non-fiction anthology. An old book about Elias Roottrees from the 1920s. There's no downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find. Sure. You know what other book we have? Mystery Comics. Wait, we have all of these books. I know we shouldn't search this, but like, why shouldn't I? Alphabet Davis, Secret Searcher. Alphabet Davis, Secret Searcher. Reverses. Wait, who's the author of Alphabet Davis? Because you can probably find this too. Alphabet Davis. All 4 by Christoph Rogan. Sorry. Alphabet Davis. Reverses. Christoph Rogan. Christoph? Hey. As a reminder, these books are not related to your investigation into the Roottrees in any way, but it's probably this is probably another secret that you can do. Reverses begins mere days after Alphabet's previous adventure. Alphabet Davis discovers one small part of the sizable treasure holds a mind-bending secret. A seemingly unassuming bronze mirror has a family crest and a part of the family tree etched into its metal backing. The Bunions. The Bunions? Metal bronze mirror. You look like a mirror. As Alphabet was ascended from Deadheart, this was not entirely unexpected. When Alphabet looks closer, however, he's flabbergasted. The crest and tree end with his father's name and birth year, which was long after the family's pirating days. I need to read the first book. Wait, sorry, I'm lost. What? Alphabet Davis, Secret Searcher. Secret Searcher. Here we go. 1989, book number 1, right? Because pretty sure this is book number 1. So I go over here. Yeah, Secret Searcher was the first book. Gotcha. In Secret Searcher, Alphabet, in his late 20s, is introduced as the next owner of Martin's of Maine, a small seafood company that has been the family business for multiple generations. I just want to search this. Martin's of Maine. Pro tip. Alphabet Davis. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but there's something weird about this other story in this game. Small seafood company. Yep. Okay. Before that, Alphabet's lineage could be traced back to the notable pirate Captain Deadheart. Is it? Captain Deadheart. Alphabet daydreams about those days often, even though he's stuck on a simple fishing boat collecting lobster traps instead of treasure chests. While Alphabet captains Martin's of Maine's largest ship, his father, a widower, runs things in the office. To his father's chagrin, I don't know how to pronounce that ever. Alphabet has always had all the negative qualities of his late mother. Damn. That's cold, brother. Jesus Christ, that's your own child. Like, at least if you hate them, like, punch them in the face or something. God, that'll hit less. He died during childbirth. In addition to daydreaming, he's also a thrill seeker, which can make him impatient and foolhardy. Often he sails in the storms and seas, never really caring much for the seafood aspect of their business, but enjoying being on the ocean. He's also an expert with a fishing rod. He can use a small rod and hook with pinpoint accuracy. Wait, so they don't cook the food, right? They just get the food. Because when people say seafood, I think to myself, like, after you cook it. But when I think of, like, fishing company, I think they just get the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever calls it a seafood company unless you cook it. Like, Popeyes is a seafood company-esque because it sells the like, Popeye shrimp, right? But no one says that it's a fishing company because Popeyes, I'm assuming, doesn't have a fishing arm. But I wouldn't say that... You know what I mean? But then I wouldn't call... What's the brand that makes that, like, Thai shrimp? Or, like, packages the Thai shrimp? Whatever. Due to a few poor fishing seasons and competitions from larger operations, Martin's is struggling to remain open. As they prepare to downsize their operation, Alphabet explores an old forgotten cavity in their warehouse wall that was concealed behind some boxes. There he finds a bottle that contains a folded parchment with an odd drawing on it. According to Alphabet's father, his grandfather discovered a seal inside a milk bottle that was caught in one of their lobster traps. Nobody could make heads or tails of it, so they put it aside and forgot about it. Alphabet, however, becomes obsessed with the old drawing. Odd drawing. It seems to have words in a strange stretched language, and though Alphabet travels to multiple linguistics experts, none recognize the glyphs. One of these is Christine O'Connor, an Irish professor and love interest, who tells Alphabet that the letters look familiar to her, but she can't put a finger on why. They flirt as they do research so indie, Anna Jones, and he wins a date with her when he bets that he can pull a book down from the top shelf of her library using only his fishing rod. When she orders a chocolate milk, he has an epiphany. The milk bottle that the drawing came in was required to read the writing. The refraction allows the words to be read and creates a riddle that reveals a pair of coordinates. Okay, that's actually a cool concept. I think that's a cool concept, that you put a piece of paper inside a bottle and you write the letter inside the bottle with, like, an extended pencil based on the refraction. That's a pretty neat way of doing it. The coordinates lead to a graveyard, and amongst the epitaphs, Alphabet finds 3 additional hidden riddles that all seem to be related to locations along the coast of the eastern United States. Alphabet, his father, and Christine all travel in his fishing boat to locations and discover arrows hidden among the architecture. The 3 arrows allow them to triangulate to an uncharted island. During this portion, a rival company sends a small group of their own fishermen to follow and sabotage Alphabet's search, including a former Marine named Billy Gruff. In the end, however, Billy succumbs to Alphabet's excitement and the thrill of the treasure hunt. He chooses to betray his orders, sabotages his own boat, becomes an ally instead. Once on the island, the 4 of them find a hidden bounty of stolen antiquities dating back to Captain Deadheart. There's plenty to save the company, and Alphabet offers Billy the position of a lead captain at Martin's of Maine's, which he eagerly accepts. Why am I reading this? I really should be thinking about why I'm reading this, but this is kind of interesting and fun. And also here, this is specifically why I'm doing this. 2 more books, the release dates, where a prequel and a sequel left out some of the first 2 characters, less of a soap opera, reformed elements, and Reverses feels more at home now. This was a conclusion. Rumors that it was written to specifically bankroll an electronic version of his True Passion puzzle books. Due to a tonal shift midway through, fans even speculated that there was actually 2 different partial drafts. Quite clear it was over the top and undercooked. You could revisit them for old time's sake, but as each volume is more complex than the last, it might be counterproductive, so you have a job to do. This is the puzzle book that he made, the Family Doku. So Christoph Rogan made Family Doku. So Christoph Rogan made Family Doku. That's his real passion. Family Doku is the first of several volumes of puzzle books written by Christoph Rogan. The library doesn't have a downloadable copy due to the large amount of illustrations, right? Alphabet Davis. Reverses. Yep. Okay. Seemingly bronze mirror. As Alfred was descended from Dead Heart. Okay. Yep. Focus on how it came about. As he looks closely into his own family history, impossible events seem to surround him. It starts with the messages scrawled in reverse on the walls of their business. A small portion of the treasure goes missing from a locked room. There's no words in reverse, are there? That's not a hint, is it? Because surely this game has more secrets. But there's a room over here. Well, it named up Anna. I'm trying to think of like what these names backwards could be, but no. Okay, so small portion, then a warning of what appears to be blood. Stop looking into the family tree, or Dead Heart will remove the bottom branch. That is a beautiful threat. Despite protests from Billy, who is superstitious, and his father, who quickly tells him that sometimes secrets exist for a reason, Alphabet persists. Even Christine cannot stop him. He's become so obsessed with his family that he's begun to neglect her, and has even forgotten the entire conversations they'd had. She's worried that he's in danger, as he's the bottom branch. Do you think... Okay, that's a very funny way of referring to your latest people in your family. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna look at like the latest people in my family, when they're old enough to, that I can make these jokes. Because it's like calling them it's like calling them the bottom bitch, or you know what I mean, or like that. I'm the top daddy, you're the bottom bitch. One night, while Alphabet is poring over records and researching Dead Heart, his father in one of the company's boats goes missing. The night's guardsman says he let Alphabet's father into the boathouse in the middle of the night, though he was acting strange and speaking with a different accent. After a few days at sea, the boat is spotted at the same island where they found the treasure, and his father is found dead in the rocky shores. No. Fishing vessel is shipwrecked, but one of the motorboats is gone. With his father's body, Alfred discovers another mirror, seemingly identical to the one that started his new mystery. His father's position on the rocks indicates that he fell. An incompetent detective rules it an accident. Alfred knows that it was far more likely that he was pushed. His suspicions were confirmed when, at the funeral, a shadowy figure races across the upper floors of the church. Alfred manages to use his fishing line to trip up. What? Yeah. He catches it on the figure's robe, which comes undone and reveals a second Alphabet Davis. Not identical, but close enough that one would have to look twice to notice the differences. Wow, that's weird. But how could this be? As the entire funeral reacts in shock, the figure jumps through the stained glass window and into the sea. Alphabet turns his focus to the mirrors. The two mirrors are only identical at a first glance. Wait. The background on my desktop is green. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I can do anything. I can do anything. Oh, heck yeah. Let's do, That's good. This is stellar. This is the best game ever. It's the best game ever. Alright, let's just use this as a record for now. Okay. Alphabet chooses his focus to the mirrors. The only two mirrors are only identical at first glance. The crests are the same, but the bottom of the family trees are not. His father's name, Martin Davis Jr., is on one, but on the other is Martin Davis J. As Alphabet looks into creation of the mirrors, he finds that only one metallurgist could have made them. Alphabet and Billy travel together to visit the metallurgy shop, hoping to find a local who might have info. To their surprise, the shop still stands. The now elderly son of the metallurgist. Oops, wrong one, sorry. I need to save this one. Okay, save this as idea for site. Okay, save that. And keep that one down. Okay. Yep, okay. To their surprise, the shop still stands. The now elderly son of the metallurgist has carried on his father's business, and he tells Alphabet that his father often talked about the mirrors, wondering where they ended up. The metallurgist always remembered the mirrors because of the unusual circumstances. They were a wedding gift, and there were two made. The first was for Martin Davis Jr., the second was for Martin J. Davis. The grooms were identical twins, and they were married in a joint ceremony to their respective brides, who were also identical twins. Both Alphabet and Billy are suddenly attacked. Billy by what appears to be Alphabet's father, and Alphabet by his own doppelganger. It seems they were followed. Billy fights off and holds back the old man with ease, while Alphabet ends up defeating his secret brother by using his fishing rod to unhook a large mirror from the wall, which falls down and crushes him. Before Martin J. Davis can explain anything, he dies of a heart attack. After the action-packed climax, while Alphabet is searching through his uncle's wallet, he finds an address. He and Christine travel there together, where they meet his mother's identical twin for the first time. To Alphabet, this is a tender moment. He never met his mother, and had only seen her in a single photo. His mother's identical twin gives him an explanation. She and her sister each had a single child. This meant that Alphabet had a secret cousin who was, in a way, also his brother. What? Biologically, when two sets of identical twins have children, their offspring are genetically siblings. Oh, right, because they're genetically the same. Wow, that's weird. What? Wow. Wait, this explains a lot about Yosuga no Sora now. After Alphabet's mother died during childbirth, Alphabet's father never wanted to see her twin again. She was a painful reflection of what he had lost. Martin J. Davis took this falling out personally, and worried that since Martin Davis Jr. had all of the treasure and the secret hold at the fishing business, he was intending to keep it for himself. The two brothers grew apart, and years ago Martin J. Davis stole their family's valuables, a secret stash of treasure from their pirating days. Then he hid them on the island. The bottle from the first book was his, and the story about finding it in the lobster trap was Alphabet's father's way to hide the truth about his secret brother. When he learned that Alphabet had found the treasure, he pretended to be Alphabet's father, stole some of it back, then tried to dissuade Alphabet from striking him down. This is crazy. This is a wild story. Push stealth. It was running style the same. It was very far-fetched. The release dates. Okay. Ends and beginnings, a young Alphabet adventure. Let's do this. Oops. What? Okay, as a reminder, yes, I know. The third book in the Alphabet Davis series, Ends and Beginnings, was both a prequel and a sequel to the previous two. The framing device that allowed this was that the first and final chapters of the book detailed a now older Alphabet on the one final adventure with his teenage children, Derek and Annie. Oddly enough, the mother of his children was not Christine O'Connor, but rather a previously unknown character named Rachel Roman that has very little presence in the story. What? Billy Gruff, okay, that seems awful. Billy Gruff also fails to make an appearance. What? Why? What? Why? Yeah, he was like the main character at the end of the last one. What? The story also starts in Florida instead of Maine. What? And Alphabet has retired from fishing. What? You guys have a boat, but it's a private yacht named the Martin. This is awful. The story begins in Alphabet and Rachel's attic, where Alphabet's children are looking through their grandfather's, Martin Jr., old things. They find a map amongst them, the items, and Alphabet teaches his son how to read it. It leads them back to Maine, and the three set off. This is their first foray into seafaring, and Alphabet teaches Derek how to handle the ocean. Along the way, his daughter Annie expresses interest in some of the other papers in the attic that detail their family history. Alphabet tells her about Deadheart, but warns them that it has always caused trouble. It even tore a rift in their family that got Martin Jr. killed. Once they've returned to Maine, Alphabet and his children visit the old Martins of Maine building, now owned by a larger company. From there, they find a hidden clue carved into the bottom of Martin Jr.'s old desk. This sets them off on a journey that takes them around the globe. This section is quite rushed narratively, with many details missing. However, when they reach shore at a strange island with a lake in the middle that appears to be from a large crater, Alphabet stops their journey and reveals that it's very similar to the one he went on at their age. The novel flashes back to become a prequel. This is a very strange book structure, but I can kind of see this working. The past adventure follows Alphabet Davis as a teenager. He and his father, Martin Jr., travel together to visit Alphabet's mother's grave in her homeland. On it is a cryptic message that says, "A treasure is lost, a ship of Theseus. As more are born in time, the gold and true treasure was always our treasure." What? Martin Jr. tells Alphabet that his mother also loved puzzles and she had chosen this epitaph. The ship of Theseus is a famous philosophical riddle. If a ship was replaced, okay, with this, The strange riddle sparks Alphabet's sense of adventure. He asks his father what treasure could have meant and is told to look into their family history. This is the first time Alphabet ever considered looking into genealogy, and his love for puzzles and riddles helps him excel. He soon discovers Deadheart and confronts Martin Jr. about their pirate ancestry. Alphabet's father tells him that the family has, generation by generation, always tried to leave their past further and further behind. Even so, somehow it always ended up finding its way back to the forefront, even hoping that by never mentioning it to Alphabet, they could end the tragedies and terrible fates their family had suffered ever since. In a nod to the second novel, Martin Jr. even cryptically tells Alphabet that their family once owned a sizable treasure that Deadheart had tucked away. But he also warns him that such fortunes always cause rifts between family members, that he personally was glad it was gone for good, even though it meant their business would struggle. Alphabet remains excited about their ancestry. Upon seeing his enthusiasm for the same things that his late wife loved, Martin Jr. shows Alphabet to their attic, where most of her things are stored. Alphabet finds a map and a few references to treasure and begins to daydream about becoming an adventurer, making such a discovery. He steals their smallest boat and begins a solo adventure. This takes him back to his mother's homeland in Europe and to her childhood village. He finds out the fact that belonged to her family and learns that his grandmother was the town clerk in charge of keeping the records. In the town records room, he finds a clue carved at the bottom of her desk in a similar fashion to the clue that began the adventure of Dirk and Andy. It falls at the same places he had been set to visit with chosen in the present portion of now, but now these adventures hold in detail with Dirk and Andy, occasionally chiming in to let the video know how similar they were. At one point, Alphabet is caught in quicksand and uses the only thing within reach, a fishing rod, a hook, and loosen a vine that can grab the pole. So this is the origin of his adeptness with the tool. Alfred puts together one pizza puzzle and his surprisingly leads back to where it all started, his mother's grave. But at this point, he's obsessed, and even though he knows the storm is on the way, he sets forth towards her final place. The storm is too much, and the book has on the end with a crate like it. No, Alfred's feeling so. How could the treasure they were seeking now lead them back to the exact same island Alfred had to crash into by chance? Alfred smiles, everything's right. Only one day after working as well declares, Martin Jr. suddenly appears in the world that Alfred was equally astonished to see his father as the children would want to be standing in the exact same place. How could Martin Jr. have tracked him down so fast? If father tells him the truth, it would be revealed at the end of their journey. Alfred reveals the Dirk and Andy like Martin Jr. had him. They both journey for design for their respective adventures. The carving was placed by his father only a day before he arrived, and he placed the carving in his mother's for them himself minutes before they discovered. Holy fuck, this is a long book. No wonder they told me not to do this. At the end of the section in the past, Martin Jr. and Alfred leave the wreck boat behind to travel backwards towards the great world outside. This time, Martin Jr. sits space. He tells Alfred that they share he also shares the flaws that is found in the adventure, but it's not peace for us that they risk their life for thrills. Martin Jr. says that Alfred's mother relied on her husband to balance out her rash and excited nature with patience, and he relied on his wife to remind him that life is more than just working fetching for money. Life could just be an adventure. When they get to her grave once more, Martin Jr. tells Alfred the secret to the riddle, just like Martin and Alfred's mother was incomplete without this other half. The novel ends in the present with Alfred refusing to tell his children the full passes of his mother. This has been protest and anger, but Alfred tells him that he has plans to show them the full message as she intended. They said to his mother with Dirk now in command of the vessel when they're at their graves, no longer alone, not complete by the grave of their identical twin sister, who Alfred says lived the rest of the days in wealth and happiness. With the second grade, after completing the phrase, the riddle is revealed not to be the riddle at all, but a statement. Our treasure is lost piece by piece, but our ship of Theseus is readily replaced as more are born. Our love grows stronger in time. The gold and silver is hardly missed at all. True treasure was never the rich as always. Our treasure was family and adventure. Now I know the game says that this is not related to the investigation, but like it really does feel like it should be related in some way. Like it feels very oddly the same. And I wonder if there's going to be a parallel between these stories and the Roottrees stories, or if that's why it tells you very clearly, like don't think these are the same because you're going to go crazy. Because it really does feel like it could have been, and so maybe that's why they had to put that warning in, right? So yeah, okay, so there's a fourth book. So we had the fourth book, actually, right here. This one was two different drafts put together. Alphabet Davis in The Erased Names of the Genesis. Erased Names. The Erased Names of the Genesis. Of the Genesis, uh-oh. Hello chat, thank you for writing, and yet I will not stop reading, because we're stuck here. I need to get, you know what, you came at a bad time. I feel like I need something to keep me going. Just give me a second, I need to get some more coffee. BRB. I am committed to reading all of Christoph Rogan's Alphabet Davis books. We also need a new background. I am committed to going through this weird side story that has no relation to anything. Simply because I must know what in the world is going on with this weird side story. I also love the fact that they made the background perfectly green screenable, and it still keeps a lot of the scanline artifacts. Final book. Takes place between the events of Reversus and the sequel section of Ends and Beginnings. Even as a fan, it's hard to justify many of the decisions in this book. The general plot beats are as follows. Alphabet Davis's children, Dirk and Annie, are very young in this story. They are also both revealed to actually be Christine O'Connor's children after all, but she dies from a mysterious malady for the first chapter. What in the world happened to the author? Why did they write it like this? In which Alphabet mourns her and speaks at a funeral. Almost immediately, Dirk and Annie are sent to stay with their maternal grandparents and do not make another appearance. That's funny. Much of the book's central mystery is also jump-started by Christine's death, as a large portion of the story has to do with Egyptian mummies and curses. Alphabet must figure out whether or not the curses are true, and if the curses are why Christine died, because the last thing she did before she passed was try to sell a specific piece of Deadheart's treasure to a pawn shop. It'll pay down the debt of the still struggling seafood company. It was a small obelisk that had hieroglyphics on it. Billy and Alphabet travel to Egypt. Hey, Billy's back! Where a local tour guide sees the symbol and gets excited. He takes them into a newly discovered underground pyramid that is said to have belonged to Queen Amentetra, an ancient ruler, and also has the same symbol on it. Between books, and due to his enthusiasm to follow in Al-Fayet's footsteps, Billy has conveniently become an expert in hieroglyphics. He discovers a wall with unusual bricks, each marked with a strange symbol he doesn't recognize. They ask the tour guide, and he says it is the only symbol that nobody has ever been able to translate. When Alphabet and Billy look into it, they make a startling discovery. The first major reveal of the book is that the symbol is not actually a hieroglyph at all, but rather the mark of a pirate named Crookheel, who served as a rival to Deadheart. Alphabet and Billy began sailing around the world to various pirate ports in an attempt to learn more about Crookheel. Rachel Roman, who, as a reminder, was said to be the mother of Alphabet's children in the third book, is introduced in this section, but not as a love interest. Instead, she's more of an ally, a new ally. She's an inventor who lives in South Africa and runs a shipyard there. Ooh. After she helps Alphabet and Billy refuel their ship, she also creates a special fishing rod for Alphabet with extra features such as a strong enough wire to carry his weight like a grappling hook. Right, so that's where he gets a really cool fishing rod. Okay. Instead, throughout most of the book, there is a different recurring love interest named Layla Amin, an Egyptian archaeologist with an expertise in explosives. She works at museums, looking to use dynamite as part of the archaeological process. Alphabet and Layla had met in Giza near the secret pyramid. And then again, seemingly by chance, they reunited in the Bahamas at the port, said to be a common stomping ground for old pirates. Layla says she was summoned there by her employer to look into Egyptian antiquities. After they sleep together, she's taken in the middle of the night by a man who bursts in with a golden mask and begins chanting in a strange tongue. Alphabet manages to hook the mask, but does not see who was wearing it. It appears to be Egyptian in nature. I concur. The next day, the police arrive. They've been sent a picture of Layla's corpse. Oh, what a shame. As well as Alphabet's name in the message, she has suffered the wrath of Amentetra. Return our treasure or you're next. The police throw Alphabet in jail and confiscate the mask. Now, a little over halfway through the book, there's a time jump. Huh? A chapter called 3 Years Later, oh god, which begins much like the first chapter. Alphabet is now mourning Billy Grubb. Holy shit, Billy Gruff died. It's Billy, no! Hey, you slept for 2 hours. See? I knew it. See that? I had a feeling that these games would have put you to sleep. And now you notice that the tags are gone. What? What do you mean my tags are gone? Oh shit, the tags are gone. Does it mean I won't spoil anything ever again? No. I will spoil all you love. I'm bringing that tag back. This tag may conflict with Twitch's moderation policy. What? Wow. Twitch cucked me. Wait, so that's why... Huh. So, I guess Twitch found my channel, and I guess they realized this guy's channel is a little bit crazy. I'm gonna make a tag called Calcium Cannons. They can't stop me. Calcium Cannons. Okay. They're fine with the tag Calcium Cannons, but they're not fine with I will spoil all you love. Very nice. Moose Knuckle Enjoyer. Omega lol. Well, hopefully you enjoyed your nap. Time for me to put you back to sleep. So Billy Gruff is now dead. That's actually a very funny... it just time skipped right into Billy Gruff's death. Speaking at his funeral, Alphabet conveniently fills a reading in on the events that led to his death. Billy bailed Alphabet out, but was distraught at the death of Layla. They fought after Billy begged him to stop before anyone else was hurt. Billy even destroyed the mask in an attempt to end the chain of clues. When it was clear Alphabet would not stop, Billy returned home to continue running the fishing business. When he tried to pawn another item of treasure, he died the same way as Christine. Due to the nature of the artifact that Billy tried to sell, the original King James Bible. It's just, I mean, this is like Indiana Jones level of just madness, where there's a bunch of items that don't make any sense. As in the one owned by the actual King James IV, the focus seems to shift abruptly from ancient Egypt and mummies to biblical references. I see, so this is the second draft that was mashed together with the first draft. Alphabet Davis translates and reads this Holy Bible, which has a previously unseen passage in the book of Genesis. Oh, also, by the way, this game has a monitor that's like green, so I green screened it. So now we can make this anything. Actually, let's change this. Very nice. Very good. Maybe something else. Maybe this. I think we bring back a classic. The Kinder Hippo. The Happy Hippo. The Kinder Happy Hippo. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So, where's the thing? And reads this Holy Bible. Previous unseen passages. Okay. This passage in Alphabet's newly translated version is an unabridged version of Genesis 5. In the traditional version of Genesis 5, there's a list of names of the descendants of Adam, and according to the timeline, many of them lived hundreds of years. Alphabet's version clarifies the sections being an abbreviated version of events. As an example, it was not a single man named Canaan that lived for over 800 years, but rather a tribal bloodline started by a man named Canaan. Remarkably, it also lists all these names of the bloodline. With this missing information, Alphabet sells the mountains of Maine and uses the money to hire dozens of the finest genealogists of the world. The team spends 3 months building what they call a Genesis tree, a family tree that spans all the way back from Alphabet himself through Deadheart to Adam and Eve. Wow. This allows him to make a remarkable revelation. The biblical Noah was a pirate, which is why he had a ship to carry animals on. Wow. So at the end of the book, the first and second halves of the mystery are brought together somewhat haphazardly. Alphabet returns to the pyramid and reinvestigates the pirate symbols. When one of the bricks makes a different sound as he beats his fist against it in anger, he realizes there is a chamber behind it. Smashing through the bricks reveals a secret staircase that leads to the massive underground lake below the pyramid. In the center, anchored, there is the missing Ark of Noah, but the treasure hold is empty. Well, that's because it was just full of animals, no? So now we have animals? Like, of course Noah's Ark is empty. All the animals, like, left and like, mated and made more animals. Alphabet discovers symbology in the wall that leads him to believe Queen Amentetra discovered Noah's Ark, which had become trapped in its lake after the floods passed. She claimed the pirate treasure as her own and built a pyramid to not only serve as a resting place, but to hide the oasis and the Ark forever. Deadheart's rival robbed the grave of Amentetra, stealing the gold from the Ark, and then sealed the passage so that nobody could track them. It is not explained how they managed to do this, as it was established in the start that the pyramid covering the underground lake has been hidden for thousands of years. Yeah, exactly. Something's going off here. The final reveal comes from when one of Alfred Davis' team members bursts in. They have been continuing to expand the Genesis tree. It seems Layla Amin is a direct descendant of Queen Amentetra, and that she had a brother. Layla suddenly appears with her brother in tow. He has been Alphabet's original guide in the pyramid, as well as the man in the golden mask. What? Oh, sorry. I thought Layla was... Wait, no, isn't she the love interest? So she faked her own death. She shoots the assistant and then reveals she is actually the one who killed Christine O'Connor and Billy Gruff using snake venom. This is all done in an attempt to get Alphabet Davis to think the treasure was cursed and return it to the pyramid so that she could reveal her ancestral connection and collect her birthright. But now that she has him here, and now that Billy is dead, she can simply trap Alphabet in the rubble of the pyramid and steal the treasure from his company before anyone catches on to what she's done. In a surprise move, Layla tells her brother she has no intention of sharing, then shoots him as well. He trains the gun on Alphabet, but he jumps over the side of the Ark into the lake below, keying up the sand on the floor to hide his whereabouts. Layla fires into the water before giving up. She then climbs the stairs and halfway up, hooks a plunger to a series of explosives she had planted and triggers a controlled explosion, taking to collapse the pyramid directly into the Ark chamber. At the top of the stairs, however, she discovers the camel she intends to ride away has panicked, trapping her inside with not enough time to escape. As the pyramid collapses into the water and onto Noah's Ark piece by piece, Alphabet climbs back on aboard and into the crow's nest. He spots the open sky through a hole that is 4 high above him and uses the fishing rod provided to him by Rachel Rome to grapple himself and swing out of danger. Once outside, he spots Layla's camel, realizes she must not have escaped, and rides off into the sunset. I like how there's also like hints of camels and stuff too. Like, you know, it didn't just have to be like a poorly written story with like poorly written continuations, but also had to have a couple of racial stereotypes too. Like it just had to have a little bit more to it to really sell this little story here and what's going on. Which, boy oh boy, is this a wonderful, wonderful side story. I don't know why I decided to read the side story, but my god, was it good. That's a shit ton of it though. I didn't realize how much there is. I need to do funny background image for my computer. Oh, perfect. I'll use the image from Beyond Citadel. I'll use this. Make a true Gooner detective PC. Perfect. Very nice. In the epilogue, Alphabet returns the main and creates the ABC Martin Institute, named after himself, Billy Christine, and his father. Jesus, the Genesis tree has been completed. Now includes everyone on Earth, and is therefore considered... The Genesis genealogical tree considers every single person on Earth, born now as well as maybe born in the future. Is now considered one of the new wonders of the world. The institute makes millions per year, selling people the ability to learn about their own family history. One aspect that fans did not appreciate about this ending in particular was that in the previous book, which took place after this one, there was no mention of the institute, nor of the global, like, civilization-changing fact that we now have the ability to know about everybody's life. That's pretty intense, actually. Oh god, the green even bleeds through here. That was a cool sidetrack. I don't know if it was worth it for me to do that. I see why the game told me not to now. You found this advertisement in the Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 Pieces, so now we know their exact names. It states that the flavors are inspired by the children, and the order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and a new flavor, miracle berry. Miracle berry. And the order, it's the order that's important. So G-E-C-E-M. G-E-C-E-M-M. I've had 5 children. Where are you? Where are you, Mr. Elias and Gwyneth? Here we go. Oh, and because of this, I have to go over here. Order of kids' initials are G-E-C-E-M-M. We don't know what the names are of them yet. We just simply know their order. Oops. And then I need copy paste this over, right? There we go. So that's the order. But we know some things. We know, for instance, that Carl was preceded by an Ernie Jr., which means that whoever this is Ernie, because based on our notes, G-E-C-E-M-M. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. E is over here. G-E-C-E-M-M. Why is E over here? Who's C-E? Carl, maybe it's Carl Ernesto. Carl Ernesto, no. Well, we'll figure that out later. We need to find pictures of them, so then we need to find some more things. So 3 blood relatives and some children. There's Melon and there's Melonberry. Brenda White has no photo. I guess we don't care about her. But Roottrees Carl is the one that we need a photo of. We don't have any periodicals left. We had one about Silver Screen Magazine, but that's about it. There's Business Watch. We can do, first, Elias Roottrees. Maybe they have a photo of him. Yes! Was awarded Watchman of the Year in 1936 for his accomplishment of rolling out 5 pieces to a global market. Notes for the article. In a scan, someone made the cover having added to your evidence. Perfect. We have his photo. Dashing. 10 cents. Business Watch. Elias Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognize the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. Perfect. Elias forms the Roottrees Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before 5 Pieces, the company is very profitable. Elias has a daughter, the first of 5 children. 4 more follow. So it's daughter first. G was a daughter. Okay, we'll add this to the note. And if you're wondering why I'm copy pasting, because this thing doesn't scroll. Oh wait, now it does. Okay, well, fuck. 4 more follow, leading to 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavor per child. 5 pieces are first sold in some Pittsburgh markets. We need to go and search up Pittsburgh, and then it's rolled out to New England. The new recipe and flavor is finalized, and the candy begins nationwide distribution in the department stores and other shops everywhere. So we need to find something in Pittsburgh, because the new recipe is not the same as the old one, right? The Roottrees Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. With help of his son Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm, a new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler Country. Okay, so we have the second child. Production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. Damn, architecture firm, eh? Jesus. There's also a what's next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with Clance Trust. The Clance Trust? What? First off, G was a daughter. E is Elias Roottrees Jr., who ran an architecture firm, and up here made the Clancy Trust in order to ensure his company's continued ownership solely by the family. Very good rewording. Copy my homework, but please use different words. Yes. So Elias Roottrees Jr. is his son. E is over here, his second child. So this is Elias Roottrees Jr. So it's not Ernesto. Elias Roottrees Jr. They really do enjoy naming their children after themselves, and he was an architect. Okay, now we have his photo. Who the fuck is this guy? Wait. Which photo should we use for him? Because that's also his photo. This is after it was founded, but before he was a success. Do we represent him as being a poor man or a rich man? I don't know. I do like the idea of him being rich, because it, because then it's like you have this juxtaposition between him being rich and his wife who's broke as shit. Which I think is funny to me in the sense of like, because you know what I mean? It's just, that tickles my pickle in a way. Let's just, okay, sure. Once you verify this relative, you'll be able to add bonus photos. Oh, thank God. Well, okay, well, I'll do them both poor for now. You poor bastards. So Elias Roottrees Jr., the Clancy Trust is interesting too. We'll check out these two. What is the Clancy Trust? Clancy Trust. The Clancy Trust is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottrees. Oh, Clancy. And we'll do it here. So GECE Clancy Edward Roottrees, right? So CE is Clancy Edward Roottrees. Okay, now we need to make a new entry for him. Who is Elias' son? Okay, Elias' son. The CE in 5 pieces. Head lawyer of the Roottrees Candy Company. Due to its unique nature, is the namesake of the Clancy Trust. Yeah, that's very important though. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussion about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias. Yo! What? that's kind of sick. Oh, yo. Hey, can I be a root tree too? I'd love to get in on this like direct bank account trust. Yo, that's kind of sick, eh? I'd love to have some free money, all because my grandfather made some candy. Oh, I guess that's how like the Nestle people live, right? Like they steal the water from places, but they also make some bomb ass chocolate, so they're all billionaires. An account is created for each blood relative at birth, and it's first accessible when they reach 18. So the usual trust, but it's different in that it's built on the money from people. So Clanted Trust. The Clanted, pronounced Clanted Trust. That's good. That's good. Sorry, that's very good. Trust that dictates a fixed percentage dividend that is split every quarter amongst every direct root tree descendants bank account that is opened on their birth and accessible when they turn 18. So that, yeah. The actual numbers have never been fully disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company, it is a significant amount of money. The Clanted Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school, which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about the Roottrees versus RR in 1994. While looking into Clanted Trust, you often find mention to the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. So I bet you this folder is related to RR. RR Productions being Ron and Robbie, the two brothers, right? Which makes sense because they got into a gambling thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is a major portion. That's why Ron and Robbie are kind of like off on their side doing their own thing. And why they were cut off because the money was being funneled and being used for like drugs and stuff. Or gambling, sorry. Was this drugs or gambling? I mean, it was gambling. Maybe it was both. Okay, also the 5-piece guarantee, again, sounds like a 5-gum thing, which is a bit funny. I really wish you could like copy these somewhere and make different pages, but it's really painful to manually move everything over given all that I've written. I need to do like different ones for different things. So G unit, E unit. What other kids were there? They had many kids. They had 5 kids. Jesus, she was popping out babies like candy. Oh, she was popping out babies like candy. Hey, good enough. Nice. It's good stuff. GECEMM. Okay. MM. What the fuck is MM? CE unit. M unit. The other M unit. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's too long. M2 unit. You get G unit, E unit, CE unit, M unit, M2 unit. And then I need a patriarchal society. Patriarchy. RR. These two I think belong on their own page. Like it's very odd the way that they are. At the moment, RR. And I guess we should talk about... Well, it's interesting too because like they're not the only ones that are still alive. Presumably these people are still alive too. So why were they killed? Why were these killed specifically? Why were they killed specifically? I think that's a good breakdown for now. Let's work on copying over notes. Fucking shit. Oh god. How do you fuck? Well wait, if you click on a thing, where does it go? Maybe it doesn't matter. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It was Clanted Trust. Yeah. Based on descendants. Yep. Okay, so we got that. Okay, impossible to get into. So 5-piece guarantee. So something about the 5-piece guarantee. 5-piece guarantee. Aha! What is this? And then RR. The Roottrees versus RR. Related to a previous passage about cutting people off from the Clancid Trust. Robbie loved gambling. Very important context. Let's do the 5-piece guarantee. What does 5 gum have? The 5-piece guarantee, in combination with the Clancid Trust, was Elias Ritchie's attempt to ensure that the Ritchie Candy Company would remain a family business for eternity. Wow, that's interesting. Huh. Patriarchy. Attempt at ensuring the company stays in control of the family forever. Forever. In isolation, it's somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottrees president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. What? What? So, the CEO gets paid $4? Maybe Luigi was wrong. Maybe Luigi was wrong. Maybe not all rich people are bad, eh? Maybe some CEOs deserve a little bit of help here. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year, now it's close to $4. Combined with the Clancid Trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president. And he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they'd have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. Oh, that's an interesting, almost like poison pill move. Huh. That's a very interesting poison pill move, because then you make it so that the role is absolutely unpalatable to outsiders, but those who are already in don't care. They're already tied into the dividend structure of the company. This has to go. I know this isn't real, but this has to go onto Investopedia as a possible real thing that people could do. I want to make my own Clancid Trust. Yo, like my wife and I are never gonna have kids, but like it'd be kind of cool to have. And we just like name people who have it. We could adopt children. Oh, I need to tell my wife. We need to adopt children, make a Clancid Trust, and then get the children to fight over it. Right? It's like a sick, sort of like twisted, like a Squid Game thing. Oh, it's fucked up. Whether or not this was a smart or successful business decision is widely debated both online and in person by economics enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Oh, you mean those pores who don't understand? This is genius. Because it makes sense. Like, it forces them to be stuck with this thing. And it forces them to always seek profit. But profit can't scale forever. So, at some point, it will probably be a bad. But it does mean, again, it forces so that you're only going to be family. So, this at least guarantees something. And one key piece of information that's going to help guide us the rest of our information, right? All presidents of the company have salaries locked to... Oh god, the green. Do you see her face there? Locked to price of 5-piece candy, which is now $4. Maybe say it's like USD. This oh no, it's happening again. What the fuck? See, I wish that this didn't happen. Which effectively makes it so that the role is only worth it for direct descendants and therefore only worth it for direct descendants due to the Clancy Trust tying their trust fund into the profit sharing esque model. Sure, that's a terrible way of saying it, but sure, I guess that's the best way that I can read it. Sure, but this also means something specifically. So, more specifically, it implies that all presidents of the company are Roottrees family members. Is this guaranteed to be true? Find out next time on Streamer Plays The Roottrees Are Dead. Sure, we'll live with this. Okay, so we'll just make that happen. Okay, so Clancy Trust $4. Roottrees Company. Right. What was the other thing I had? Right, the Roottrees versus RR. The Roottrees versus RR. You find very few details about this particular incident with regards to the Clancy Trust. A student that attended the lecture about it wrote the following on a legal oddities website. From what you can tell, Ron and Robbie attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. But RR probably stands for the production company, right? Which was his own. It was said that RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the Clancy Trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Roottrees without completely dissolving the trust, which nobody would want to do. Attendee of the lecture, it's a lecture or talk? It's lecture, stated it was an attempt from RR, presumably Ron, who owned RR Productions. Is that true? Was it Ron? See, this is why I need to organize this. Okay, well, once I'm done, I'm gonna reorganize all of this. Yeah, head. Okay, he presumably Ron, who owned, to cut off another family member from the fund due to them both being born out of wedlock and committing a significant crime against a fellow family member. Presumably, Robbie, due to his embezzlement to fund his gambling addiction. Holy shit. So, Robbie isn't a blood member of the family. So, failed to... Qu'est-ce que c'est? Failed to do anything because of ironclad wording of Clancy Trust that would have it completely dissolved if any ousting occurred. Sure. So, wait. There's a couple of options here, and I think this might be it. Because the way it is implies that if you're born out of wedlock, you must be split up in some way. Don't forget, family trees use surnames from birth, even if the person changed their last name after marriage. What? Always use a person's most recent occupation. Right. What I'm thinking of is this. One of these split up things is Ron and Robbie. Specifically, one of them must be Ron and Robbie, and they must have at least two children underneath them, okay? This is a candidate because this one over here, they marry and then they have two kids over here. These could be Ron and Robbie over here. Or over here, this could be Ron and Robbie. The only thing is we need to figure out if somebody's married, right? Either Ron and Robbie was over here or here. It really depends on whether or not that they were married. But it must also be that it's born out of wedlock, aka when they split. But out of wedlock, what does that mean? I think out of wedlock either means that they were born before a marriage as a mistress. You know what I mean? Like not married. Before they were married, they were born. 2 of them. So it could be this even. And then this is the reason for the split up. That doesn't make sense. This is a notable person too. So I don't know if that makes sense either. But it's notable, and the RR brothers, Ron and Robbie, did have a once famous mother. No, but that's the father's famous, not the mother. Unless, are women allowed to be notable? I know that's a crazy question to ask. In the context of the game, are women allowed to be notable? I'm not being sexist here. I'm asking in the context of the game, okay? Don't answer it, but I wonder if it's possible for them to be notable in the context of the game. So we also have another name here. We know some other names of these people. Of 5 Gum. Where are you, father? This really needs like a search bar or something. Shit. It really needs a search bar. Carl Roottrees? No, Elias. Where's Elias and Gwyneth? E is Elias Roottrees. CE is Clancy Edward Roottrees. So he's the 3rd child. We don't know who G is yet. I bet you her name is Gwyneth Jr. because that would be funny. Clancy Edward Roottrees. Wait, Clancy Edward Roottrees. Clancy Jr. is probably one of his kids, right? Clancy Edward. He was an architect. No. E was an architect. Clancy Edward Roottrees was a lawyer, I think, right? Head lawyer. So, ew, disgusting. A lawyer of the Roottrees Candy Company. Who's he married to? Let's just search up Clancy Roottrees. We have a few leads. I think Clancy first. Clancy Edward Roottrees. Son of a gun. Blood relative. Right. Clancy Trust. 5-piece guarantee. We know about this one. The salary of the Roottrees president. Roottrees president. Maybe there's terms for this? I don't know. Wait. This does imply something. Remember how we said that, like, the predecessor, like his predecessor must then be... all presidents of the company must be a part of the family because they wouldn't make money otherwise. We know about Carl's predecessor, actually. His predecessor was Ernie Jr. Did I mark that on the tree, or... is that in the tree? No. God damn it, he has a real name. Ah, shit. Back to my Gooner machine. Ernie Jr. was a former president. Yep, he seemed to precede illness. We don't know his illness. Clancy Edwards Roottrees. Oops. Okay, well, I guess we go to Ernie. Is his name Ernesto? What's his name again? The E. Elias Jr. Yeah, of course, because they're narcissists. There's other notables too, but I want to work from top to bottom to make it easy. Elias Roottrees Jr. His name is listed on a website about historical buildings in Butler County. He is listed alongside an old residence, Butler County, that has been preserved called Hunchtop House. E-Unit. Elias Roottrees Jr. Listed alongside an old residence. An old preserved residence called Hunchtop House. Hunchtop House. Probably in the public library or the periodicals, maybe? I don't know. New system coming fall 1999. Well, that's a bit late now for that. Wait, Elias Jr. So the rest of the family sucked. There was only 2 really good siblings who actually made money from the thing. This makes sense. So only two of them were watchmen. Wait, what's his architect firm? What's the architecture firm? Maybe we can do this architecture firm. Okay, let's go back to Elias here. I think we can do some things here. No. Where's Elias? Here we go. 5 pieces. Yep, the thing. Roottrees Legacy. Say they're biased. Roottrees Legacy. By Bess Williams. No downloadable version. Right. Okay, well, I guess we just do the notables now. Because there's a couple of links here. So we have Carl Roottrees, Elias, Gwyn Roottrees. That's probably the first child. Gwyn. Ugh, of course. Because Gwyn. So royal of you. You find some information on the website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site's not very well organized. The search is broken. But you can get the individual pages from your search engine. Gwyn Roottrees is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwyn from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to evidence. Did you know? Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias Roottrees, the founder of Roottrees Candy. She shouldn't have been named Roottrees, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. And she was famous, somewhat well-known actress, which is similar to what Ron and Robbie wore. Gwyn Roottrees, where's in here? She's G Unit. Oh, that's crazy. Somewhat well-known, known actress. Oh god, now we can do this. Oh my god, I no longer need it in one because I can just group it by one single person. Oh yes, I'm a genius. Oh, I'm so smart. Biggest role in movie Guys Like Us. Christmas Mission movie flop got her to leave Hollywood. We have a picture of her behind the scenes. Evidencia. Wow. This photo is a widely circulated photo of Gwyn Roottrees. You've seen it multiple times. You've seen it on multiple websites about old films. Gwyn Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. She'll be marked in the chart with a star. But she's not... I don't think she's G Unit, actually, because I said something about granddaughter, right? Yeah, granddaughter of Elias, so she's not the direct child. Oops. I mean, Gwyn. So 0 had 1, 2 great grandfather, granddaughter, which means 0, 1, 2 Gwyn. That's gonna be my naming scheme, okay? I need to write this down. I'm gonna forget. What do the numbers mean on the tabs? 0 equal Elias and Gwyneth. 1 equal children. 2 equal grandchildren, etc. There we go. That's good. Okay, so Gwyn, I need to G Unit. It's over. Okay, good. Some well-known actress. Okay, well, okay. Now I'm changing how I organize this. Okay, now I'm changing how I'm organizing this. Biggest role in movie Guys Like Us, sure. Okay, this is a problem. This is a game about organization. I'm tempted to open up Obsidian and make my own like knowledge web. You know what I mean? Like I think that might be more fruitful for us eventually. And I may just wish because this note system makes me wish that I'm using Obsidian or something. And really, what they should have done is they should have compiled Obsidian to be a part of this game and just had it here for you to like make notes with. Because this system is a little clunky. Not clunky, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes me wish for more. Okay, so Gwyn Rootree. She is a VHS, not very well organized. Yep. Guys like us.
Say guys like us. Say guys like us. We're downtown boys, alright? Uptown girls like her. She don't like guys like us. You gotta move on, bucko.
You find some information on the website about Guys Like Us, and that site's not very well organized. The search broken. Yeah. Guys Like Us is a 1953 film in which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with a client and hilarity ensues. The title is a play on words. It can be read that the two women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. Oh, Guys Like Us and Guys Like Us. Oh, that's cool. Leslie Florence Harrison Lane. Leslie Florence was Gwyn Rootree's co-star in Guys Like Us. Not much relevant information, just not additional credits. Harrison Lane. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was as a villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know trivia? Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. I think this is actually valuable information because one of them is a out-of-wedlock child, which is Ron and Robbie. I think this is probably... Gwyn and Harrison are probably the two. Okay, but now I'm thinking of like the links, right? Like I want multiple links here. Because the links go from multiple different pieces. Like I don't want the links to just be as simple as, you know, these tabs. I want to draw links between these different connections in order to be able to see them. Why don't we just forego the note feature in this game? Because it's not that good. And I actually use Obsidian to actually do everything. Because the way that it is now, like, I want to do this. But for a crime scene. Like, I want to do it for, like, oh, someone's been murdered. And I draw these connections with, like, strings, right? Like, that's the traditional way of how you draw links. It's like a, something Zetsu Cabin or something. What's it called? Zetsu Cabin a note board. What's that thing called? Not Kanban. But it's something like that, where you have like a bunch of notes, and you put strings in between them to draw the links. Then you just follow the notes. Like, this to me feels limiting. Because now, I think Harrison Lane is an important part of it, because he reunited with someone at the movie's premiere. And if we can find out when the premiere was and what that was, we can find out exactly who eventually was involved in something. Especially now that we know that Gwyn left Hollywood, and more specifically, oh, well, I guess that's it. That's it really. But then reunited with an old thing. You know what? Married his high school sweetheart. So for sure it's not Gwyn, his high school sweetheart. It's not Gwyn. Nor is it Leslie, because they would have known each other during the production of the film. So they wouldn't have reunited at the movie's premiere. They would have reunited during the filming of it. Unless that's a lie. What's Western Frontier? Harrison Lane was a television actor. Okay, fine. Western Frontiers, Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. What do you know? Christmas Mission. Christmas Mission is on the page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I released in 1955 to receive poor reviews and lost his studio money. Gwyn Rootree had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. You find no relevant information. The movie was marketed as an incredible true story, but no records of the events happening has ever been found. That's weird, right? War movie. Soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. I have some theories about this. I think this name over here in the secret document is either Ron or Robbie. It could also be that piece where it's like, oh, leaps in logic. Because like, if that war movie was true, who's the soldier? One of these soldiers has a hidden wife, and then that's a hidden child. out of wedlock, Ron and Robbie maybe could be this too. But hidden children is interesting. 2 hidden children, one that we know about, based on the way that these lines are going. Right? Is that the same line as this? Yes. No. Yes. No, it's not. It's actually a different type of line. This implies that these are connected to this person. Almost as if Elias Jr. had a secret. Yeah. Okay. I know what to do. Give up for today. The game is good. This game is really good. Problem: music is all over the place volume-wise. And I really wish the note system was a lot more capable. There's some bugs behind it, but also you lack the ability to form links. I'm going to transfer all of my notes to Obsidian, and we're going to tackle this at some point in the future. Again, probably tomorrow, with some info as well. Okay? This game is good. I knew this game was going to be good when I read the premise of it, and I really enjoy these types of like deductive games where you try to figure out, okay, what exactly is the links between people. And I like that it incorporates this fake internet. Like it's done very, very well with a very good green screen, right? And then you have this like old school public library and the periodicals feature as well to sort of like take you back to that time and immerse you further. It has a lot going on here, and I'm very excited to see what's going on next. But dear God, this I think you need like 8 hours to go through this really deeply. And I think honestly the note tool, while it's good, it's really hard to keep track of things. Like there's just, you can't move things easily. You have to like write things down. You have to get your categories right. But the thing is, right, categorization isn't a matter of like you can't foresee categorization and thus the tabs that you create these pages. It's like you only know about the fact that you need a separate page when you know about the information and the context. So there's a lot going on here. But overall, I enjoy it, and it's really good. And I like how you can even the images are detailed enough that you can zoom in, for instance, and see who is which child by the wedding ring. Like these are very, very cool mechanics that I don't really see in games, right? Like even Orwell didn't really have this level of introspection for the photos and stuff. It was just the words and just almost scripted outcomes from those words. Not to say that it was a bad game, but this one feels a lot more freeform because you can take any type of conclusion from any bit of information. The game's writing is honestly, I think, the best part too. A lot of the writing feels just good enough that it feels like it fits within the world of the game itself, as well as vague enough that you really feel like this is sort of the type of like how you find information in the first place. Because you go to a Wikipedia page about anybody, and there's some things that are very vague about what's going on there, and there's a lot of history that's like summarized. That's what this feels like. On top of the fact that it's a genuinely interesting premise of a whole family is dead, they have this weird money structure. There's a lot of different things going on. There's so many different possible angles that this could go to. But other than figuring out what the family tree is and why they died, there's no real other objective, which is good. It's vague in the sense of what you're trying to find. You're here to make that up on your own as you discover these clues. It's a very, very interesting way of making a deductive logic game. But I do wish the notes were better. To some level, I do wish it was good. But I do enjoy this so far.